Hello.
Hey,
Hello. Hey.
how's it going?
Hey. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I feel like we're
Cupcakes,
doing we're doing the 5:30 p.m. early bird special show tonight for all of you
something like
who
that.
want to get the deal for the early bird special after the I guess we should see what happened with that football game. Do you know what happened with that football game?
15-10 Dolphins. Woo!
Oh, we're gonna lose half our audience if you
Sorry, too bad.
if you root against the Pats.
I've gotten to the point where the Pats were like the last team. Now I don't even follow football that much, so what I think doesn't even matter. But I because I've become so close to the Boston area. I went from the Pats being the last team that I would root for to be the first team I would root for, unless they're playing the Dolphins.
Well, that's how I feel about the Rangers versus the Bruins, you see. Like I'll root for the Bruins in like preseason and stuff until they're playing the Rangers until we get into real serious hockey like playoffs, and then that's it. We're
And
done.
I've always rooted for the Red Sox, unless it was the Cardinals.
Oh, I grew up in a Yankee house, so can't really go there. Can't ever go there. But
Yeah.
anyway.
At
So
least
hi
it's
everyone.
not Mets. Could
Yeah,
be
right.
worse.
Hi everyone. So I really needed like a person to rant with me tonight. And so, you're my first choice for ranting because
That is high praise.
and I'm hoping that you didn't read any of these documents because what I really am
I
looking
have
for tonight is the genuine glare reaction, like a real-time reaction video to this. Because
right.
how up
You
are you on this Brian Walsh case?
I just honestly I have not done a deep dive on it yet. I plan on it's still in the conceptual phases because I'm lazy and I'm a procrastinator, but I plan on a 12-hour fundraiser live stream for
Oh,
Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. And so I was actually going to contact you to see if you would like to join for a couple of hours.
we could do the
Um
Jerry Lewis type telethon. I was
kind of what I'm
actually
kind of what I'm trying to get going here is trying to get some guests, to
yes,
join and
I'm
we
in.
go over just all kinds of stuff. I'm talking Brian Walsh, Sandra Birchmore, Justin Root, go over all kinds of stuff and just really bang it out. And I'm going to stick it out for 12 hours and just kind of let people join me and keep me going for 12 hours.
All right, I'm in.
I love it.
I'm
I
in. I'll
love
be
it.
your co-host. Yeah, we have good
And I
banter. People like our banter.
they do.
They do. I mean, I think
Yeah,
it's good.
I do.
I like it. I like it
Yeah.
too. I think, Sirius XM, when they're looking for the next like Howard Stern and Robin.
It feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing about Brian Walsh, okay? This is weird. This is weird because, like, I almost feel like, like a carnival barker. Like, this is going to amaze you. It's going to astound you. Or you're going to see this woman with a beard and you're going to see this man who's a contortionist going into a thing. Like, this is going to astound you because Sandra Birchmore was killed, as we know, in February of 2021, right?
Correct.
Officer John O'Keefe was murdered almost exactly a year later, January 29th of 2022.
Right.
And Anna Walsh goes missing exactly a year later on New Year's Day of 2023. So, in all three of these cases, we have all of the same investigators for the most part.
Wow.
So, when they come, Anna Walsh goes missing allegedly on January 1st, on New Year's Day.
And I hate to interrupt you. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but I just wanted to. Okay, I do know that Proctor is was the lead investigator on the
Mhm.
Walsh case as well,
Yeah.
and I do know that they have opted to not have him testify. The Commonwealth.
Yeah. We did a show on
That
that the other
that
day.
I'm caught up on.
Right. So Proctor was the lead investigator. Now they've demoted him to case manager slash customer service rep slash guy that you call at Celebrate when you need help how to work Celebrate, right? And they've totally demoted him again. Again. Like how much knocking down a peg can this guy stand? I don't know.
Desgraciado.
And then there was a rumor that he was terminated, and then it turns out that he's maybe not. But in any event, they're calling him like the co-lead investigator now with this other detective from Cohasset, which is where this disappearance allegedly happened.
God, I'm already exhausted.
I know.
Like
It's exhausting. I
ridiculous.
I found, and I couldn't find, it's hard to find documents on this, but last night, call me Alice, I'm down the rabbit hole. I found 468 pages of, wait for it, just search warrants. Just search warrants. Like, this doesn't even include interview of a witness. It doesn't include.
So this is the Brian Walsh case?
This is the Brian Walsh case.
So let me get this straight. You said how many warrants?
Well, I've got 462 pages of
460
just warrant paperwork, applications for
warrant
warrants,
paperwork.
warrants that were granted, affidavits attached to warrants of why they should get the warrant, and things that they found in the warrants. That's
Now
it.
humor me here.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory on how many warrants were issued in the investigation into Boston police officer John O'Keefe.
I didn't see any.
Right.
I didn't even see one
Zero.
for the car.
Zero, as I recall.
Did you ever see one for Karen's car? Because that's like a question that I have. Because they've got, not only do they have warrants to search his vehicles and photograph them and videotape them, they've got warrants to put a tracker on his cars. 3 cars.
Well, one, yeah, people are saying some are, there's some that are saying 1 and some saying 0. Others are saying, most people are saying 0, because I don't recall hearing about a warrant or reading any paperwork on a warrant in the Karen Reed case.
I always wanted to see the warrant for the seizure of her car, and it never appeared. It never just talked to us. It never
funny how a detail like that goes under the radar, which never would, considering all of the crime cases you've covered, the crime cases that I've covered, that would never go under my radar unless there was a mountain of things to distract me that are wrong with this case that would cause that to go under my radar.
Right. But I always wanted to see the probable cause for the seizure of her car, because he called for a tow before he even decided it was a car accident. Like, the whole thing in Karen Reed, as you know, is a big
cluster
mishigas.
F. Yeah,
that too. But here they even give Proctor 3 warrants to go put trackers on 3 of this guy's car surreptitiously and allow him to sneak in to this guy's house or garage or wherever at 3:30 in the morning to put trackers on his cars. Like, that's how in depth they went with this.
Why is it that they're Barney Fife with Karen Reed, but they're MacGyver and Michael Knight, And
at this point, it's just I don't want to say just, but it's a missing persons case. There was no death involved. She was just missing.
Right.
So, I mean, you're talking about the murder of a Boston police officer versus a missing mother of 3. And the lengths that they go to in this investigation. And you're going to see, because we're going to just talk about, let's just dive right into it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Proctor's hands all over this. I don't know how they're not going to call him. He's all over everything. He did the search of the house. Like,
I've been saying, in theory, it feels like I don't see, just with the little that I know, in all fairness, I don't see how Brian Walsh isn't going to walk. I just don't see it. And I don't want that to happen. It's ironic because I'm rooting for the Commonwealth here, the very system that is framing Karen Reed that I am speaking up against. I want them to put this guy away because I believe this guy is absolutely guilty. And
and that's what's so messed up about it, is that he actually might get off because people that are involved in this investigation, including Trooper Guarino, did all the extractions on the Google. I've been talking about this for days. I've been covering this case. I covered it twice. And I'm like, wait a second. They want to convict him on Google searches. I wonder if Guarino is the one who did the extraction and the interpretation of the data. And guess what? He is. And guess who else showed up to interview witnesses? Yuri. Oh, yeah. And Tully's involved in it too. They're all involved in it. And they seized devices. And remember how they've held on to Aiden's devices for over 300 days?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you're going to see how long they hold on to Brian Walsh's devices when they consider him to be maybe a murderer.
Okay.
And you're also going to see what they charge him with.
Oh my God.
I know this is going to be so fun. This is going to be so fun. I'm so glad that you haven't looked at this yet. No, they've never found her. There's no body. There is no body.
And he's just going to clam up. Like, why would he talk?
He's
You know what I mean? Why would he talk?
Well, he's been in jail since. And he also had a little scuffle with the law when he tried to sell a couple of fake Andy Warhols on eBay.
Yeah, I read about that.
There was a federal case for that. And so he kind of was like already on home arrest or home detention, and he wasn't supposed to leave the house anyway. But in any event, here's one of the search warrants. This is like the third one.
Turtle Boy Aiden's in the chat right now. He says, "Don't tell me he got his devices back. Just let's
wait. Did he get his devices back?
I don't know, Melody. Did he get his devices back?
Oh, Aiden, you're gonna have to just. All right. I mean, it's like spoiler alert. Hang on. So here's the application for a search warrant. First they get a search warrant for Lyft. They get a search warrant for Uber because Brian Walshe says, my wife left early in the morning. She took an Uber to the airport, and so they get, of course, warrants for Lyft and Uber, which come back with nothing. Then they get an email from some weird email address, and they get a search warrant for Google for that. But then they get a warrant for the house because now they want to search the house. And here it is, Michael Proctor applying for the warrant. And this is his probable cause affidavit for the warrant. And here's where he wants to search: 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway in Cohasset, which, by the way, is for rent right now. If you want to split it with me, we could rent this house. We could do a podcast from there. It's like $4,500 a month, and it's a gorgeous house. I'm gonna pull it up on Zillow after. If you think I won't?
Hell yeah!
I mean, it's like living in a murder house.
I believe
maybe
you will,
because they were renting it too. All right, so here's Michael Proctor. He's signing off on this warrant. I don't know if this judge. It looks like this judge's name is Looney. I mean, if it's true, you can't make it up.
Does.
John Looney. I don't know.
But Canoni is residing over this case now.
She is, because we watched a conference the other day, and thank you for reminding me because I forgot to tell you that, because it even gets weirder because Judge Canoni is the judge. And when she took
she's so sweet.
She was so nice to him.
Oh my God.
This guy is accused of hacking up his wife and disposing of her body all over town in garbage bags, just like that Fotis Dulos guy. And she's as sweet as could be to him and his lawyer. She couldn't have been nicer. So in any event, here's the affidavit. Would you like to read it? Because last night you did such an amazing announcer voice. And I don't know if you can imitate
so
Proctor.
All
right,
so wait. Small there.
Hold on, let me see if I can make it bigger for us. Well, wait on it. Hold on, that's not gonna work. I'm really bad at this tech stuff. Oh, wait, if I move this over here. Still too small for you?
No, I think I can do it.
All right, or even
can you remove Turtle Boy's comment?
Yeah.
That way I can. This is going to be a little weird, but
let's see if I can. I don't know, make it a better shape, maybe. Hold on. No.
Man, you work StreamYard way better than I do.
I'm trying, but I'm really not very good at it. I usually swipe myself out of the stream at least once. All right. I do, because I'm on my laptop.
I used to do that a lot. I
used
to do that a lot. Yeah.
Or maybe when we get really big and we get our 100,000 plaques like Turtle Boy, or we get it to like Emily Baker with 750, maybe they'll listen to us, the StreamYard people.
StreamYard, it'd be nice. I mean, you'd think by now, like everybody uses it, you'd think by now that they'd fix the sound issues. Like, they have terrible sound issues. Yeah.
So remember, this is Michael Proctor. He's the one who executes the search warrant on the house, and this is his affidavit to get the search warrant for the house.
All right, let's see what we got here. I, Michael D. Proctor, being duly sworn, depose and state the following is true to the best of my knowledge. Trooper Michael Proctor, number 3863. I'm a Massachusetts State Police Officer, and I've been a police officer since 2013. I've been presently assigned to the State Police Detective Unit SPDU, at the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, and I have been since September 2019. During that time, I have investigated and processed serious and violent crimes, including murder, suicides, sudden, suspicious, and unaltered deaths, along with drug investigations. Through these investigations, I have participated in the execution of search warrants from which various types of evidence have been seized. I am trained in criminal investigation, including homicide, death investigations, crime scene investigations, collection of physical evidence. Sorry, I can't take that seriously. You said collection of physical evidence, and I
That's
lost
so
my
good. Crime scene processing and investigation of such cases. I have received specialized training.
I can't take this guy seriously at all.
Listen to what he has obtained specialized training to obtain and analyze cellular telephone data and call detail records in support of criminal investigations. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice from Anna Maria College. In addition to my assignment in the Division of Investigative Services, I've been assigned to the Division of Field Services, working in Troop C and Troop H. And then he goes on to say, I talked to everybody and I talked to the Cohasset Police Department, and I have probable cause to believe that evidence of kidnapping, misleading a police investigation. And guess what that is? That's the same statute as witness intimidation.
Oh,
13B,
wow.
268 13B.
It
And that's
sure
what,
is, isn't
and
it?
that is what they arrest him on, that witness intimidation statute.
What is with that statute? Why do they hang? They live by this thing.
It's like
it's bizarre, and it's the most unconstitutional. So now think about this, Melanie. You being an attorney, I'm not, but in theory, I'm wondering, I'm so glad I have you right here to ask this. So what if once Timothy Bradle and Mark Betterow prove to the Supreme Court that that statute is unconstitutional, how's that going to affect this case?
Well, he's also charged with murder. So the first thing they brought him in on, though, they brought him in on that witness intimidation statute when they weren't sure. And then they upgraded it to murder. Oh, like they do. They upgrade it to murder, right, like they do, like in Karen Reed.
So, I mean, yeah, now that I'm thinking out loud, I mean, I don't see how it's going to affect anything any more than Proctor being the lead investigator and being completely and totally disgraced. So,
and maybe Guarino and maybe Buchanan also might not be available to testify, and then the whole case kind of falls apart.
Right.
Well, even if they rule that, but here's just an interesting point to make. Even if they do rule that statute unconstitutional, it would not be retroactive, I don't think. Anyway,
it wouldn't have much effect on the case.
So it wouldn't go backwards in time. It would just move forward.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It wouldn't. I mean, in
theory, because he's already indicted,
and
he's already indicted on the murder charge.
Right. They can't go back and be like, right. You can't go back and turn it over or whatever, turn over the case.
But for the other people that are, Rubber Ducky Guy and, all these other people, and Aiden and the Canton 9 and all these other people who are now, I think there's tickets coming out every day for people under this statute. It would affect them, however.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to go on?
If you'd like to, sure. Or we can alternate.
We'll alternate. Like. Yeah, we'll do it like. I
would like to do a dramatic reading.
Like an elementary
starring Will,
school.
Last name unknown, the Glarer.
On January 5th, 2023, at approximately 3:45 p.m., state police detectives assigned to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office were notified by Cohasset Police of a missing person in their town and requested assistance. It was reported that on January 4th, 2023, at approximately 11:44 a.m., Cohasset Police responded to 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway after receiving a call from Hugh Dunleavy, the head of security for Tisha Spire in Washington, D.C., the employer of Anna Walshe, date of birth 4/12/1983.
Yeah,
Anna was reported. Go ahead.
It's her employer that reports her missing, not her husband. So go on.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good to note.
Anna was reported to split her time between Massachusetts and Washington, D.C., having a residence in Washington, D.C. for work, as well as the Cohasset, where she spends time with her husband, Brian Walshe, date of birth 1/31/1975, and their 3 children. On the initial call, Dunleavy stated that Anna has not been seen since December 30th, 2022. He further stated that her vehicle was presently at her residence in Washington, D.C. So how long was she?
So she goes missing on, well, he said December 30th, but then there's another witness who puts her in the house New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. So January 1st. She's splitting her time between Washington and Cohasset. They've got 3 kids, 2, 4, and 6. Okay.
No,
So now
so
Brian's going to explain why. Another Brian. Can we even handle another Brian? I just we got Higgins, we got Proctor, we got all the Bryans, and now we have this Brian, Albert.
I've learned to accept that this is a Massachusetts thing. Like there's just a lot of Bryans, a lot of them. Bryans. Yeah. I've learned to accept this.
So after they get this call from the employer, then they go to the house. And it says, upon arrival at 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway, Brian reported to Officer Gregory Lawrence that he was seeking to file a missing person report for his wife, Anna. Brian stated his wife had left the residence between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. on January 1st of 2023. He stated Anna took a Lyft or an Uber to Logan Airport in Boston at that time to return to Washington, D.C. for work. Brian stated he did not know any specifics regarding her flight information. Brian stated that he's not spoken to Anna since the early morning hours of January 1st, 2023, but he's tried to reach out to her since that time and he's not received a response. It should be noted Brian never contacted police regarding his wife, as he had only called her work, who in turn notified the Cohasset police. Oh, so I guess he called her work, and then her work called Cohasset PD. Subsequent to this report, Cohasset requested and were granted a ping for Anna's phone. They did this under exigent circumstances, like they can, without a warrant, like get Verizon to ping her phone. So that's what they did.
Sure, she's a missing person. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
At approximately 3:30 p.m. on January 4th, Cohasset police received data from Verizon indicating that Anna's phone pinged in the area of Reservoir Road in Cohasset. This area encompasses Brian and Anna's residence. You want to go? Subsequent analysis of the raw data. All right, I'll go. Subsequent analysis. You can relax. Just smoke your cigarette. Subsequent analysis of the raw data indicated that Anna's phone was stationary starting from the evening of December 31st, 2022 until 3:14 a.m. on January 2nd of 2023. So they're going to rely on that too, right? That her phone was stationary, which, as we know, in the Karen Reed case, it's not reliable, is it?
No. Like nothing is reliable. None of these methods are going to end up being reliable at all because they were conducted by Michael Proctor
and Guarino.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like this is just a mess because I'm kind of impressed. If I never heard of the Karen Reed case, never heard of the murder of Boston police officer John O'Keefe, and I read this, I'd be like, these cops are tops. You know,
cops. These cops are tops.
So
shirt there somewhere.
It begs the question: what the hell happened with the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case?
Only 1 year prior. Did they all of a sudden obtain skills within the year?
Yeah,
within the passing year. And
fascinating.
This guy, Dr. Turk, he's also on trial in front of Judge Canone for. Oh, and didn't you talk to Kevin Reddington about that case? You did. I mentioned it on the last show, but I'm like, I'm not going to tell the story.
I still can't think about it without cracking up. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Do you want me to tell your listeners in case they haven't heard?
Yes, I do. I have to. And I'm going to find out when Turk happened. So go for it.
So I went to Boston a couple weeks ago to Turtle Boy's to support Turtle Boy for his hearing and to see Bettero in action for the first time as well. And so I get there, and it's really, really awesome. There's a bunch of people out there, and everybody's really positively receptive and taking pictures and everything. And Reddington is now, I don't know if you guys know who Kevin Reddington is, but he's now representing Jennifer McCabe.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Turtle Boy knows a little bit more. He posted it in my chat when I was talking about it before. And so Reddington, he's standing up like at the top of the courthouse steps, and Tom is, live as he normally is, and he's like, "Hey, Will, Clara, it's Kevin Reddington," right? So I'm like, "Oh, hey," and he smiles and does one of these, and I go, "Big fan," and he giggled, he laughed, he, seemed like a cool enough guy, and then I
We'll get back, we'll get back to that.
later on, I'm in the courtroom with I'm in the courtroom, and I'm sitting there next to Meredith, Turtle Boy's girlfriend, and we're kind of having a ball, man. It's because it's so silly that we're just not, we're just giggling and talking shit, and everybody's just kind of wondering because Kevin Reddington's running around, and I'm like, everybody's like, well, what is he even doing here? So he comes and he sits next to me, and he goes, "Hey, would it be awkward if I asked you for your autograph?"
Come on. He watches your show? Oh my God.
Well, no, I
love
mean,
that for
like,
you.
I took it like he was joking because like people were asking me for the autograph in front of the courthouse, which I still think is kind of crazy. So I guess I took it like he was being sarcastic, So I I laughed and I said, "Well, yeah, probably not. I don't know." I didn't know what to say. And then it dawned on me to ask him. I had the opportunity because everybody was wondering. So I was like, "So what are you doing here?" And then it occurred to me immediately. I mean, it's not the only case. Turtle Boy's
Right.
case isn't the only case. So, um, I'm like, "Oh, you're working at you're representing a client for another case, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, some fucking psycho they got back there and fucking chopped up his wife and threw in a pond," and then and I busted out laughing, and then the bailiff is like, "Shh," and I'm just like, "Dude, you're gonna get me kicked out of here." He got up and walked away, but he was laughing.
So that answers the question. He represents
So
Dr. Turk.
yeah,
Dr. Ingolf Turk.
it was very surreal. And but I mean, what was I supposed to do? I busted out laughing. I was like, "What the hell?"
Was
It
this
was-
when was this? Just when you just were there for the last hearing?
yeah.
Okay, so this was like last week. So this is what happened. So what had happened was I live streamed the hearing, right? And then after that hearing was over, all of a sudden we see Auntie Bev walking in the courtroom, and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, we got to keep going. We got to keep going." And that's
Right.
what it was. It was Dr. Turk's hearing. And again, she was
I
so nice
thought
to
about
Reddington.
sticking around when he
It was
said that. I
so
thought about
nice.
sticking around, but I was like, "That's not what I'm here for." And then, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Dr. Ingolf Turk is a Dover doctor who was accused in the 2020 murder of his wife. And she was found, her name is Kathleen McLean. She was age 45. She was found in a pond in May of 2020, weighted down with rocks in her pants, according to the police. I don't know if she was chopped up, but she was weighted down with, and that's a 2020 case. So they also have issues in that case because I think Proctor was also lead on that case. So you got
Yeah.
2020 is Turk, 2021 is Birchmore, 2022 is Officer John O'Keefe, and 2023 is Anna Walsh. And you
Wild.
can't make this up. You can't.
Wild.
You just can't. So back to this now.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot for one county. This is all in Norfolk County. And is it a little strange that Judge Bev just happens to have 3 of those 4 cases in front of her when she transferred to civil court allegedly?
Do you remember? I mean, I don't know. I'm stumped. I'm stumped
Yeah.
at this whole thing.
And then 2024, we have Enrique Delgado Garcia.
Yeah.
Now,
got
I
nothing.
still have a lot of questions, but I'm not ready to start screaming corruption just yet, other than the person who was in charge of the training that day. I want answers as to why that person was not regulating that situation and why it went as far as it did.
Yeah.
Somebody is accountable. If it's a training exercise, somebody's accountable.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts on that too.
Yeah. But I have more questions than I have, like, anger in that case.
Yeah.
I need more to get angry about. If that makes
Oh,
sense.
you're not angry enough yet? Oh, wait until we finish the tape.
I'm angry. Don't get me wrong. As far as the Enrique thing, I'm angry that there's no answers, but I'm not ready to start screaming justice for Enrique yet. I want answers for Enrique.
Right.
Is where I'm at right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So they're going to rely on this. They're going to rely on this. Her phone not moving between December 31st and 3:14 a.m. on January 2nd. When it goes off on January 2nd, it's not turned back on. As the time of this application, no further data from Anna's phone has been received by investigators. So here's what they do first. The detectives from Cohasset Police, they begin to reach out to family and acquaintances of Anna. Attempts to reach Anna's sister, Sandra, who resides in Toronto, were initially not successful on that day. Detective Schmidt requested that Washington, D.C. Metro Police check the well-being of Anna at her residence there. Officer Ben Fink checked the residence, which showed no sign of Anna, nor did it indicate anything indicative of foul play. Detective Schmidt spoke with Dunleavy, who's the boss of Anna, who provided information regarding Anna's employment records to include access control to the building, parking, video surveillance from the parking garage, corporate credit card transactions, phone activity, and email activity. In fact, it doesn't say it here, but they sent Yuri Buchanek, and don't say his nickname, we're just going to call him Bukwaki for today. They sent Bukwaki to Washington, D.C. for this. They did. It's true. It's in another affidavit.
I am
Investigators reviewed all these records and they found no activity after January 1st or any time thereafter. Detectives from Cohasset further checked records for domestic and international flights, as well as Amtrak, for information indicating Anna had booked travel. The records indicated there were no international flights or Amtrak tickets booked in Anna's name. Domestic flight records were delayed due to the high volume of flight delays and cancellations nationwide. Oh, there must have been another blizzard. Listen, I don't know what goes on in Canton, Dedham, Norfolk.
Do you remember for those of you who've been following true crime for a long time, do you remember when people were thinking that there was something supernatural going on in Colorado because there were so many Colorado cases? You had Morphew, you had Gannon, you had Watts, just to name three off the top of my head. People were, but what is going on in Norfolk County, specifically Norfolk County, not just Massachusetts, specifically Norfolk County?
Yeah. I think there's something in the water. Strange. Don't drink the water. Don't drink the water.
Right. But they're not incompetent. We know they're not incompetent based on this. This is why it's infuriating. We know based on the way they conducted this investigation versus the way they conducted the Officer John O'Keefe investigation that it's not incompetence. It is clear corruption. Clear. That's my opinion.
That's why I think that what I have found here could be very helpful, not only to Karen Reed's case, but also to Aiden's case. Because look at this. They find out she's got a flight scheduled for January 3rd, but she didn't take that flight. The Cohasset detectives also got records for Lyft and Uber. None of them had any records. Then you could start this paragraph, which is 9, which we can't see because our heads are on top of it. But beginning January 5th, look what they did. You can read it.
Beginning January 5th, 2023, investigators from various agencies have conducted numerous interviews and canvassed the area in the vicinity of 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway for video footage pursuant to the investigation. Now, that is what didn't happen when it came to solving the murder of a Boston police officer.
Yeah. And this is the day after her missing persons report.
Right.
The day after, they're scouring for footage everywhere. Additionally, assets from numerous law enforcement agencies conducted a large-scale search and rescue operation in the town of Cohasset throughout the day and early evening hours on January 6th and 7th. The two searches in the surrounding area did not produce any evidence. She was entered then into the NCIC as a missing and endangered person. They go through all of her financial records. And then on January 6th at 8:30 p.m., Detective Schmidt and Trooper DeChico, remember him? He testified in Karen Reed too.
Yeah.
Conducted the interview of this man, Jem Mutlu, who's like their friend at the Cohasset PD. Look at that. They're doing interviews at the Cohasset PD, not showing up to Jen McCabe's house to do their interviews.
This
They don't
is
go to his house.
unreal.
They don't go over to Jem's house.
They go to the right.
They
This
bring him
is
to,
you know
they bring him down at 8:30 p.m.
right and to the station. So like this reminds me, everything that you're reading so far reminds me of when I was watching the Las Vegas cops talking about how they would have responded to the John O'Keefe thing. And this is basically textbooked what they said for the most part. It's
Yep.
pretty crazy.
And they
So
don't-
we're
they
not
don't-
crazy in expecting this because obviously they lived up to this standard for Anna Walshe, but not for Boston police officer John O'Keefe. I wonder why.
And remember, this is Proctor's affidavit. These are Proctor's words. He doesn't say this in this paragraph, but that interview with this guy, Jem, was recorded, like audio and video. So
Wow.
yeah, they have the capability to do that for witnesses too. It's in someone else's affidavit because maybe Proctor's like, oh crap, this is like he's writing this now like a year after.
None of the
O'Keefe.
witness statements were signed in the John O'Keefe investigation. No recordings of the interviews were
None of 'em.
taken. Yet here, the same investigators, though, okay? It's not like that's not their style because we're seeing now that it is.
Yeah.
So one would have to ask, why not a year before?
And why does he leave it out of his affidavit? And I only found it in someone else's affidavit because he knows already now because all the shit's hitting the fan, right? On the Karen Reed case a year later for
Ooh,
not doing
spicy
all
Melanie.
of the things. And then he doesn't put it in there because he's like, I don't want to admit that I did the things in this case, but I didn't do the things for Karen Reed, So
Unreal.
the witness tells them, and then the next paragraph I'm going to allow you to read because that's the one that's going to blow Turtle Boy's head off.
It's probably okay. Which one?
So wait, hold on. So I'm just going to tell you that. So they interviewed this guy, Jem. It is recorded, audio, video. Proctor doesn't say that in his affidavit. So he says that I was there on New Year's Eve at the Walsh's house, and I got there at 8:30 p.m. Me and Brian and Anna had dinner, champagne, and wine during the night. No other adults were present for the gathering. He stated everyone was enjoying themselves and in a good mood. And Jem left the Walsh house at about 1 a.m. and returned home. Okay, here you go. On January 6, 2023. That's all you.
On January 6, 2023, attorneys Tracy Minor and Brian provided verbal and written consent to turn over Brian's cell phone, 2 Apple iPads, and have the contents extracted. Lieutenant Fanning, sounds familiar, secured all 3 items, which were forensically extracted at the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. All 3 items were returned to Brian and on January 7th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. So on January 6th, 2023, they took his tech, and then on January 7th, the next day, they gave it back.
After they extracted everything.
They still have Aiden's tech.
After almost a year.
Still have Aiden's tech. They still have it.
They still have it. And it's Fanning. And it's Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. And it's forensically extracted by guess who? Chuarino. And this guy is a murderer, allegedly.
Yeah.
He's allegedly a murderer who hacked up his wife into pieces and put her in dumpsters all over town. and they give him his
Hey.
devices back within 24 hours. Two iPads, his cell phone. They take it. Fanning takes it, brings it in, extracts everything, and the next day they bring him back his cell phone and his 2 iPads. Why? Why do they still have Aiden's devices? Why? When they're giving a murderer back his stuff within 24 hours.
That is
I'm confused. I'm just
question.
confused.
That is a fantastic question. That is
Can anybody? I'm going to go to the chat on this because often the chat is so collaborative, as you know, and they help us with these things.
They do. They do.
Why does Brian Walshe get his devices back within 24 hours, and Aiden's devices have been there for almost 1 year exactly?
For doing what? For doing what? Writing articles.
I still don't even really know.
Writing articles and speaking on YouTube. That's for what? That's why they still have his tech.
Here's what he says.
He wrote articles and he spoke on YouTube.
Well, yeah. I mean, we better shut up, huh? They'll be coming for us soon too. Turtle Boy says, Ken Mello said they couldn't return my devices because I would delete messages on my phone when they gave them back and say the mirrored device is inaccurate. Okay, well, is Brian Walshe now going to get off? According to Ken Mello, Brian Walshe should be set free because, it can't be accurate if these idiots gave him back his devices, right? You can't use it as a shield and a sword. This is what I say all the time, right? You can't say in Turtle Boy's case, we couldn't give him back to him because he would then delete his messages, and therefore the stuff that we had already extracted from it wouldn't be accurate when you're giving back the guy who hacked up his wife, perhaps, maybe, allegedly, his devices. Like, he's not going to start deleting his searches? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
It's amazing.
And so, Aiden, I don't know if you guys have this. I'll send it to Bettero, but here it is in Michael Proctor's own affidavit. That is their custom habit and procedure, apparently.
These are in Michael Proctor's words.
Yeah, these are his words.
These are Michael Proctor's words that we're reading. So
you can't make it up, folks. You just can't make it up.
It's too crazy for me to be mad about it right now. And I should be mad about it. Like, it's too crazy. Like, I can't help but laugh because, like, kind of like I'm just laughing, like, the world is fucking insane.
Right.
Like that's my laughter. It's maniacal. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They are threatened by him. They're threatened by him. And like, Brian Walshe is more honest than Aiden Carney. Really? It's insanity. It's insanity. I mean, put this in your next motion, guys. Why is it?
Keep into perspective as you ask yourself these questions about Turtle Boy and everything. Keep into perspective how much energy and how many resources went into the investigation into Anna Walsh's disappearance versus the murder of Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Right. Take that with this. And I mean,
the totality of the circumstances are going to blow your mind, my friends. You're going to come into the fun house and you're never going to leave because there's no way out. You're in the hole of mirrors now, my friends. You're in that hole of mirrors where you're just whacking yourself. You're banging your head into things. You can't even find your way out. That's what it's like. It's like, I feel like Norfolk County is the hole of mirrors. Isn't that what they call that in the fun house?
Totally. It's a great analogy.
I just thought of that just now. See, you bring out my comedy. I like it.
It's fantastic.
So there's that. And by the way, if this guy Brian Walshe just killed his wife, why is he just handing over his phone and his iPads? Tracy Minor, who apparently is a high-powered attorney in Boston, quit like 2 days later because she's like, he's not paying me. So his lawyer that he has now, Larry Tipton, who by the way is really, really good, is a public defender. He's our new public defender daddy. He's got some really good arguments in his papers. But if he did this, right? It's New Year's Eve. He's got kids at home that are 2, 4, and 6. And then there's only a couple of hour window before while they're alleging that he killed her. Like, the children were home. I got questions. But anyway, that's a whole separate topic for another day. But here they go. Oh, this is so interesting too, because here he talks about in paragraph 13 here, on January 7th, Detective Schmidt, Proctor, and DeChico conduct an interview at 1:30 p.m. with Brian at his residence. Present during the interview was his attorney. This also was recorded. He does not say that in his affidavit.
Oh, what?
Yep. He does not say anywhere in here that he recorded this. I found it in somebody else's. Maybe it was Guarino's. Wow.
What's up, Kelly Reed?
Oh, hi, Kelly. Kelly, what's up?
She's a hoot, man.
Oh, wait, I missed it because it's moving quickly. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, this is insane. Like, there's no other explanation.
Mhm.
That, I mean, with everything that we know about Aiden's case so far, there's no other explanation than he's being. I mean, it's in your face that he's being railroaded. It's in your face. Like, there's no misinterpreting it. It's clear. It's a thing. It's not paranoia.
It's not a big conspiracy anymore. It's not a bunch of conspiracy theorist grifters.
No, like,
come grift with me.
They're going to call the prosecutor onto the stand. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
They're going to call the prosecutor of his case to the stand.
I can't wait. Are you going to go back for that? Are you going to go back for that? Because that is like,
if I can, yeah.
All right, maybe
I'm invested. I'm invested. Like, I absolutely stand with the people of Norfolk County, 100%.
Samesies. Auntie BB says, "Oh, 1 year ago today, I opened my door for memberships. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Aunt BB2. Aunt BB2 is my first member ever. Thank you, Aunt BB, for the 10. That's amazing news." Yeah. So there's that. So he doesn't mention that it's recorded, but it was. So he's there interviewing.
Oh, wow.
Brian stated Anna arrived home on Friday and she alluded to possibly having to leave early to head back to Washington, D.C. Brian stated he was using the bathroom late New Year's Eve night when Anna told him she had to fly back first thing in the morning, which surprised him. At approximately 6 a.m., Anna was preparing to leave, gave Brian a kiss goodbye, and told him to stay in bed since he had to get up with the children soon. That's awfully nice of her. Brian stated Anna was wearing a thin black coat, a blue-gray hunter rain boots, and a black floral dress. Brian stated their oldest was awake and had Anna fix his iPad around 6:30 a.m. So that's the 6-year-old. He's up at 6:30. Wait till we get to the Google searches, because a lot of these Google searches are from before 6:30 a.m. The Walshes' nanny arrived around 2:30 p.m. on Sunday to watch the 3 children while Brian conducted errands. Brian stated that on January 1st, he left his residence a little after 3, and he went to Shaw's down the street from his house to purchase milk and orange juice. Brian returned home, placed the groceries in the fridge, and left around 4 p.m. to head to his mother's residence in Swampscott. Oh, I don't know why I just did that. Brian stated the ride to his mother's house took longer than usual since he got lost. Got lost going to his mother's house. Brian informed investigators. Here's his excuse. He's got a good excuse. Brian informed investigators one of his children took his phone sometime on December 31st, and he located it on January 2nd in the afternoon. Brian said he would normally use his cell phone GPS to get to his mother's house, and he did not know how to operate his Volvo's GPS. What a man. I mean, okay, all right, listen, I don't want to diss you in case you don't know how to use your vehicle's GPS, but like, he doesn't know how to use the GPS in his car? I don't know. I don't know if I believe that.
But he's going to his mom's house. Like, how does he not? I don't understand.
Well,
why he thinks that's any of that story is believable.
It says so here. He says he got to his mother's house at 5:30, stayed for 15 minutes. Then he said he went to Whole Foods and CVS and Swampscott for his mother. He said he purchased frozen food at Whole Foods and alcohol wipes from CVS. So they send a trooper down there to review the video at the Swampscott CVS. Okay, within 2 days, they're there reviewing all the video. He doesn't find him on the video or find any record of a purchase during that time frame. And then he went to another CVS in Salem and reviewed all that video footage too. And he didn't find him on that video footage either or anything.
Can you refresh my memory on how many recorded interviews took place in the investigation into Boston police officer John O'Keefe?
One.
You
remember which one?
No.
Lucky.
Lucky Loughran. Okay.
We're up all night to get lucky. He is the only one who was recorded. It was like 2 years post murder. And the only reason that they recorded it is because the entire, like the first 3 minutes were about, the night of 34 Fairview. And all the rest of it was about Aiden.
Unreal.
That's the only one that was recorded.
This is crazy.
Then they send 3 troopers to Whole Foods to review all that footage. They don't find him entering. They don't find him making any purchases. Because now they're on this, right? They are so on this within 2 days.
Wow.
So then it was January 4th that the boss called. Then they go for a well-being check, or they call Cohasset for a well-being check. Brian says, here's his reason for why he didn't call law enforcement about her being missing. Brian stated his phone went missing on December 31st and that he emailed his mother and 2 business partners on Sunday sharing that information. Hey, I lost my phone, new phone, who dis? It's like sorry, Ma, if you're trying to reach me, I lost my phone again. I don't know how to use my GPS. I lost my phone again. It's probably a guy who loses his wallet and keys all the time too, right?
I can't stand this guy. I can't stand this guy.
You wouldn't even know him.
I hate this guy.
Wait, Proctor or Brian Walsh?
Well, Brian Walsh is who I'm referring to at the moment. Proctor, that's something else. That's a whole nother monster. Hey, D&E Pizza Duck, you win handle of the day.
You guys see? Oh, yes.
You win handle.
I don't have the applause. Wait, your big applause thing that you do, is that Leo DiCaprio getting up and doing the whole? Is that Leo DiCaprio in your clip?
I don't know. It's a bunch of people at the Oscars or Golden Globes. Or Golden Globes is tables. So it was like the Oscars.
Your awards shows? What?
I just clipped it just to get,
Well, I'm just thinking that if he shows up at the freak offs, you might have to take that clip down and pick a different one. That's all I'm saying. Just put it out there because DiCaprio.
I claim no responsibility for any of the actions of the people I clip. None at all. That's my disclaimer.
Hey, D&E Pizza Duck.
I reserve the right to clip whoever.
Yeah. So when it comes to protecting other LEOs, they forget how to do an investigation. What the duck? Yep. What the duck?
Dude.
Mapka's like, I still don't think this guy's guilty because I have zero faith in the MSP. So Brian's excuse is that he found his phone in his 6-year-old son's bed on Monday the 2nd. On the 2nd, Brian sent Anna multiple messages stating that he was worried and asking her where she was. Brian began texting friends and family later in the day on Monday, and on Tuesday, inquiring if they heard from Anna. Brian told investigators he did not become concerned about Anna being missing until Monday the 2nd. When questioned as to why he did not alert law enforcement that his wife was missing, Brian said that Anna had not been reachable for about a 24-hour period when she was coming home for Christmas. Brian said that Anna had been scheduled to come home from Washington, D.C., and that he later learned her flight was canceled. He told investigators Anna eventually showed up, and he told her how worried he was about her. Brian told Anna that he was going to call her at work and ask about her whereabouts, and that Anna had instructed him not to do so because he shouldn't worry, and she didn't want any issues at her workplace. Brian cited this as the reason he had not reported Anna missing until the Cohasset police arrived at his residence to perform the well-being check that was requested by her employer. But you know what?
Dude.
Anna had a boyfriend.
Oh.
Because they found him and she was with him on Christmas Eve.
Listen.
And she's like, don't you be calling my job. Don't you be getting me in trouble. So he's like, I didn't call because she got mad at me last time when I said I was gonna. So
that right there's your motive, it's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You could use that for sure. That's a strong motive.
Yeah.
But have you seen what Brian Walsh looks like? I don't know what people's beliefs are, man, but you can't blame a girl. You know what I mean? Like, look at the dude.
Have you seen him lately? Wait,
he's lost some weight.
Have you seen him lately? he
He
cleans up.
lost. Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna. He cleans up pretty nice. I'm just
Careful.
gonna say that there's All right, there's a name for like women who like fall in love with like men who are in prison and they like write them letters. I forget what that name is. Somebody put it in the chat. There's like a name for it.
Oh, I've got it. Hold on. Critical K.
No,
Yeah.
no, not the person. I mean, there's like a name for like the disorder that's involved. The
Same
name for
thing.
the disorder. He came in wearing like a real
Same
fancy
thing.
suit. And hold on. We'll pull it up later. But he looks a lot better than he used to. I'm just saying. There are
That
women.
happens all the time. Yeah, that happens all the time. It's really wild. Like they did the
Well,
same thing.
You got me stuck
part
on that Menendez brothers thing. And, you know, they both got married in jail. Part 2 of Better Row Letters coming this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Brian Walsh
Dude.
looks like Fred Flintstone.
Dude, like ever since Bettero came into the picture, dude, like he just busted in like a new like remember the first time you saw Ultimate Warrior in the WWE, dude? Like it was just like that.
Yeah, no, I never ever saw that ever.
He just busted in and just like started bulldozing everybody.
Have you met
dude.
me?
I love this guy.
Yeah,
that was a bad example.
No,
Sorry.
I know.
People in chat got what I'm talking about, but
you know who would get that? I don't know if you know Oblivious Benson, but she would totally get that. She's huge into wrestling.
Yeah, man, dude. I'm telling you, man, Bettero is just he just was like
he's on fire.
Hold my Woodford.
Did he get you drinking Woodford? Is that the reference? I get that
totally
reference.
He totally did.
Yeah.
Totally did. I ordered it instead of Jameson at the restaurant, and he was like, good man.
You can't drink JMO anymore because that's what Simp Higgins drinks. You have to you can't ever touch that again.
Mean, I still like Jameson. He's not going to ruin that for me.
You
know what I mean?
It's done. It has to be dead to you. That's what it's called. Thank you very much.
Ruin that for me.
Teacup Kraken. It's called hybristophilia. There's a word for that. Okay, I'm going to let you go on this next paragraph because this just might blow your mind. So this is what Guarino found. The iPads start with Trooper Guarino, please.
Oh, I love it. Trooper Guarino. Trooper Keefe conducted a forensic review of the data extracted from the iPad mini that was given to Lieutenant Fanning by Brian. The review revealed on January 1st, Brian's cell phone was manually unlocked. The password for the phone was entered at 7:57 a.m., 11:24 a.m., 12:39 a.m., and 12:46 a.m. The review revealed some of the following internet searches on date and time. A, best state to divorce for a man on 127.
Well, wait a minute. They changed this later because 127 is way longer. They changed this in further affidavits to say 1227. So they're making it look like he's been planning either a divorce or to kill her since before, or right after Christmas.
Yeah.
Right? So they changed it to 1227. This is, it must be a scrivener's error.
Okay. How long before a body starts to smell? That this is on January 1st, on New Year's Day, 2023. How to stop a body.
Wait, it's at 4:55 a.m.
At 4:55 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So this dude's up late at night plotting.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I mean, early in the morning. He says he last saw her at 6 a.m. when she kissed him goodbye to go get an Uber. So now this is before he allegedly starts to. This is where it starts to kind of get weird because if that dude left their house at 1. And by 4:55, he's already Googling how long before a body starts to smell. When did he kill her? And what time was it? And where's the body? How come the kids didn't wake up? I have a lot of questions. Because Brian Walsh is now going to say, oh, no, I did not Google that on January 1st. I Googled that when I was already on the 8th, when I was thinking who knows? Right. Because it's going to open to that last search when I just wanted to divorce her.
This version, you have to use the updated version. And if you use the updated version, it's going to show you that I searched it at another time. That's not familiar. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I don't see how you can deny this. You know what I mean?
Well, Haas long to die in the cold. That's how.
Clever.
You hear Clover? He's howling in his sleep.
He talked. He heard you say how long before a body starts to smell, and he started freaking out.
How to embalm a body and like an hour later. 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. Jesus.
Really need to?
I love that he wanted 10 examples. He was like, I need some options here.
Right.
I need some options. So let me look up specifically 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to.
But only if I really needed to.
Jesus. How long for someone to be missing to inheritance? And this is at 6:25 a.m. He's just up all night in the early mornings. Cohasset dump, hanging dump. Wow, Jesus, dude, way to leave a trail, guy. This dude is not too bright. Can you throw away body parts? Can you throw away body parts? Like, what do you mean? Like, can you just pitch them in the trash? Like, what do you mean?
Is it illegal? We had some people here on Long Island. I went to court for these people. They hacked up some people, and they strew their body parts around like the local high school. And some girl and her friends are walking to school. They find an arm in a tree. They like start putting pictures of the arm out there to see if anybody can recognize that tattoos. And all they were charged with was like, improper disposal of a corpse. I mean, it was bizarre. And then eventually murder, but then he takes a 3-hour break before he Googles what does formaldehyde do.
This guy could walk, Melanie.
How long does DNA last? Can identification be made on partial remains? Dismemberment and best ways to dispose of a body. How to clean blood from wood and floor.
Wow.
Luminol to detect blood. What happened when you put body parts in ammonia at 1 p.m.? He took like an hour-long break there, had some lunch. Is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? Yeah, and those are just some of the fun searches that Proctor talks about.
He reminds me of Letitia Stout. Her Google searches were like she was using Google as almost like a personal counselor. It's very weird, asking very strange questions. Yeah. She was asking like, why won't my husband pay attention to me? Why am I so unappreciated? Things like that. Yeah, very weird. Yeah, very weird. I don't remember word for word, but yeah, very weird.
That was before my time.
Yeah, that was a tough trial to follow. But I was waiting because I followed that case when it happened. And then I was waiting for the trial. It took years because of COVID and because she was one of those people that was real good at stalling too.
Oh, one of them, like Sarah Boone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very crafty.
Very, very crafty. So this guy's either the dumbest criminal in the world or, I don't know, pick a defense. Proctor lied. I don't know. Based on the foregoing facts, there's probable cause to believe that Brian Walshe committed the crimes of kidnapping and misleading a police investigation, blah, blah, blah. Based on his inconsistent statements and all this stuff, I want authorization to search the house. And here's what I want. I want to be able to also search the shed, the pool and the pool filter. And he wants to be able to seize any physiological evidence to include hair, skin, blood, brain matter, bodily fluids, and bone, and any items that may contain their presence, any electronic devices that they didn't already have, I guess, clothing and jewelry described to be worn by Anna Walshe, including a Louis Vuitton bag and purse, on his passport, wallet, and cell phone, instruments of the crime as listed in the iPad searches to include blunt force objects such as hammer, knife, hacksaw, trash bags, cleaning supplies, and receipts. And that, of course, was granted to him. I'm going to have to scroll back, so let's just put this back on for a second.
This is crazy.
Yeah, but he's the one who actually does conduct the search. That's what's even wackier. So he gets the search warrant. and he conducts it, and he finds a whole bunch of stuff, and he seizes it. How are they not going to call him to testify?
They can't. I mean, he's completely disgraced.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look at he did it to himself. And, this is really infuriating. It really is, because you can see that this man is actually a capable investigator, probably a very effective one.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't get to claim, like, now I know, even I didn't know it was possible that I could know that Karen Reed was being framed more. I didn't know it was possible. That's where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at a place that beyond where I thought I could, as far as my belief in Karen Reed being framed.
Mm-hmm. Because they really do know how to do an investigation, and they really do know how to get search warrants, because there's 462 pages of search warrant paperwork here. They go so far as to add this
This
to
investigation is proof enough of how flawed the investigation into John O'Keefe was.
it's horrifying. It's horrifying. And not to minimize the life of Anna Walsh in any way, shape, or form, but at this point, they still don't know for sure. They don't have a dead body. At this point, she's a missing person, and this is how much work they're doing on this. This is the addendum to the search warrant for the house. It tells you exactly how to access it. The residence is set back off the main roadway, Chief Justice Cushing Highway, approximately 200 yards. The entrance of the driveway is after Glass and Imports Auto Body. Traveling up the driveway, 514 Chief Justice Highway is on the left, white single-family residence. They even tell you here, animals, a large German Shepherd. The crate is located in the addition part of the house to the right. They know everything about this house before they're going to go and search it. How to get to the backyard.
This is the anti-John O'Keefe investigation.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's the anti. It's like when you look at the documents into the John O'Keefe investigation, you see a whole lot of what they didn't do. That's what you see. When you look at that, you go, why didn't they do this? Why wasn't this done? Why did it take so long for this to happen? Why did it take so long for them to talk to this person? All of these questions constantly happen when you're reviewing documents involving the John O'Keefe investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And here, I'm having trouble finding what they did wrong. I'm having a whole lot of trouble finding what they did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's something seriously wrong with that entire picture.
They know how to do it when they want to.
Right.
And here's everything they took from the house. They listed it. There's an actual property, whatever they call it, list of property. They got everything that they took. All kinds of things and stuff. Knives, hydrogen peroxide. They took 3 foot impressions, imagine. 9 swabs from the basement floor, basement stairs, support beam in the basement, and a knife located in the kitchen cabinet. Bunch of receipts. Utility knife, tape, all kinds of things and stuff. And it's signed by none other than Michael Proctor, who apparently knows how to effectuate a search warrant.
Sure. He knows how to sign documents as well.
And he knows how to log things into the search warrant. And
yeah.
He knows how. This is a year after Officer John O'Keefe, and he just didn't.
The question of negligence in the John O'Keefe investigation is nil. It is gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's gone.
There's that's no question. Like it's not negligence. It's not that they didn't know how to do their job. It's not that they weren't properly trained. They knew. These are clearly effective investigators.
They know how to do it.
Right. So why didn't they do it with a Boston police officer?
It's a great question. Why didn't they do it? Why didn't they do it for Sandra Birchmore? Why didn't they do it for Sandra Birchmore?
I know the answer. We all know the answer.
Right.
Because they're dirty. I mean, I don't mind.
There's a brother involved, It's
insane.
You got to protect your own, I guess, right? I mean, is that kind of like it?
I guess. I mean, nevertheless, it's dirty. And this is what's really crazy is I absolutely believe Brian Walsh to be guilty of this crime,
Right, right.
100%.
The,
You couldn't convince me more of it. But now he's probably going to walk. There's a good chance that he'll walk. With the right defense, he will walk.
right. Because we can't trust Proctor. Proctor's
Right.
the one who did the search warrant. Proctor did applied for a lot of these warrants, and he did a lot of these investigations. He did a lot of these interviews. And you all of a sudden you're going to throw in the Cohasset detective and say, yeah, we're just going to use him instead. This is not like, a Broadway show where you can just, put an understudy on at the last minute when the lead calls in sick. Right? We're not.
This isn't it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean,
Not how it works.
no.
The lead investigator who collected all of this evidence, all of that evidence is now compromised because of his credibility. Once his credibility is compromised, his work is compromised. Period.
Right.
That's it. And
Without
for that reason, Brian Walsh may walk.
without a body, it would be hard to prove she's dead, says Little Cupcake.
And if you were Brian Walsh, would you talk with these circumstances? I would clam up, dude. I'd be like, you have nothing on me, dude. Like, I'm why would I tell you? No
Well,
way.
he's been sitting in
Never
jail
gonna
for a
talk.
year, and he gave a couple of interviews, which was kind of stupid, but he did.
He believes he's getting away with this. Guaranteed he believes it.
I don't know. Betterow says, read what I called Brian Walsh in the New York Post. I'm like, dude, send me a link. Go to he says, I called him dumber than dirt. If you send me the link, I'll put it up. I'll put it up, Mark. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then wait, it gets good. Okay, so here's a Guarino affidavit, because now he's going to be toast too, right? Because he's the one who didn't find 30,000 text messages between Sandra Birchmore and Farwell.
Everywhere. He is on literally every case involving Norfolk County that we're following where we suspect corruption. His name is on every single case.
He's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man. And he puts in this search warrant for one of the MacBooks, and he talks about how much experience he has, all this experience, specialized training in electronic data recovery and analysis from the White Collar Crime Center, specialized training in the analysis and data extraction of cell phones using Celebrite. And he goes on, and Axiom, and all of this stuff that he knows how to do. And so based on all of the stuff here and things that I know, I have probable cause to believe that he's guilty of kidnapping, and everything is going to be found in this Apple MacBook. And so when you get to Guarino's reports, he's the guy who analyzes the raw data from Verizon. He's the guy who's going to testify that Anna's phone was stationary starting from this time to this time.
And Nurse Kim is in chat. Shout out to her.
Hi, Kim.
Yeah, man, she's awesome. She says that he was already on house arrest for the Temu art.
He was.
For the art fraud.
Yeah, he tried to sell 2 fake Andy Warhols on eBay. It wasn't eBay, it was eBay. And he was on house arrest, and he left.
I'm trying to tell you, I hate this guy. I just hate this guy.
I can tell.
Yeah. I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad at the Massachusetts State Police and the Commonwealth.
Well, wait, here's Guarino. Here's Guarino's report. His affidavit on January 4th at approximately 6:35 p.m. Detective Schmidt, the one they're going to sub in for Proctor, arrived at 516 this house for a follow-up investigation, at which time he conducted an audio recorded interview with Anna's husband, Brian Walsh. Here's what he doesn't say. He doesn't say Proctor was also there, because he was also there. Because didn't we just read that somewhere?
Yeah. And he doesn't mention in that it was recorded.
Mm-hmm. This is Guarino now. Guarino is saying, at the conclusion of the interview, Walsh gave consent for a search of the house and surrounding property. So he leads them all around the house, lets them look around, which is kind of stupid.
And why else would Guarino be there other than to record it? That's what he does. You know what I mean?
Wait, I don't know. Guarino wasn't there, but he's just this is just all of the reasons that he thinks that they should grant him this search warrant to look inside the MacBook.
Okay.
So he's saying these are the reasons why we think that we're going to find this information in the MacBook, because this other stuff happened. So I don't think So Guarino was
Okay.
not there, but Proctor was, but he doesn't say Proctor was. And Proctor didn't say that it was audio recorded, but Guarino does say that it was audio recorded.
Okay.
Just
I'm
pointing
all
out the inconsistencies because, MSP. And then
yeah.
he says, while he's showing him around, Detective Schmidt sees the back of his Volvo, and there was some lining on the back of the trunk area. And he says, behind the third row, on top of the plastic is what appeared to be a brown colored maple tree seed. What the hell is a brown colored maple tree seed? Any idea?
No. Maybe the guy was eating a peach and just left the pit.
I don't even know what a maple tree seed is. Then on
I don't
January
either.
5th, he says Detective Schmidt went back and re-interviewed Brian Walsh, which was also audio recorded.
I mean,
The first and
God.
second interviews of this potential suspect, whose wife is only missing at this point, were audio recorded. He searched again. And he said, where was the trunk liner that was there yesterday? And he said he put it in the trash can, and there seemed to be there appeared to be fresh vacuum streaks on it. I mean, they're getting it done. They go around, they pull all the video from everywhere. From everywhere.
I mean, dude, did you follow the Joel Guy Jr. case by any chance?
No.
That dude left just a trail like of Reese's Pieces for the police to convict him. Like, it was the quickest conviction I've ever seen in court. Because of just the evidence that this guy left. I mean, this is not even close, kind of, but it's still, I'm just comparing the two, and this is still amazing and astonishing amount of evidence this guy's leaving behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then again, I'm sorry, Turtle Boy, we got to point this out again. On January 6th, he and his attorney gave consent to turn over his cell phone and 2 iPads and have their contacts extracted. Fanning secured all 3 items, which were forensically extracted at the Norfolk County DA's office, and all items were returned to Brian the next day at 1:30 p.m.
I picture Turtle Boy throwing his phone when he first heard it.
Like, can you?
The next day, like, I would be so mad if I was Turtle Boy.
You can't make it up.
Yeah.
They do all the things. They extract the data, and it's going to be Guarino that's going to testify about these Google searches. But he's also the one who said that Celebrite is inaccurate, right?
Right.
And that the Google searches timestamps are inaccurate. You can't trust them. He said that on the stand. I was going to go back and watch his testimony again today, but I didn't. But the chat can help us, because I know he's the one who, when presented with messages from, I think, the group chat, the like, tell him the guy never went in the house chat, and that he just looked up and was like, kill me.
And he missed some, what was it, 30,000
in
messages in Birchmore.
Mm-hmm.
He just missed all those.
And Jen McCabe never Googled how long to die in cold 227. It's impossible, because it didn't happen at that time. It really happened at this time, because timestamps are inaccurate. Nothing is accurate. And now he's going to have to come in this case and say it's all accurate. Yeah. And I'm a really good forensic extractor. I'm really good at my cell phone extraction because I have so much training.
Even though he doesn't seem to be successful at extracting anything. You notice that? Have you noticed that? Like, he never comes through. Like, oh, I was unable to extract, this data, blah, blah, blah. He's terrible at his job anyway.
But this is like a huge part of the case, right? I mean, if they're going to prove premeditation, or that he actually did it, or when he actually did it, like, the timeline seems to be important here of when all these searches, they're saying he searched before he even said that she was missing. Like, the whole thing it's messed up, and it's going to be a big problem for for Norfolk County.
Right.
KLM, could they not be calling Proctor to keep his text about this case from coming out? Well, what do you think? What's the over under on whether Proctor looked for nudes in Anna Walsh's phone and Brian Walsh's phone for nudes of Anna? What's the over under?
Oh, I mean, why would I not suspect that he was doing that?
Of course. Don't you think he did that in every case where there was like
every single case where there was an attractive woman, or by his standards anyway, would absolutely do that. Why would I think he wouldn't?
I think it was a thing. I don't think it was, unique
Right.
to Karen Reed.
Agreed.
They're trying now. They've told, because of the whole Karen Reed case, they have a phone dump now from Proctor. They have his cloud and all of his phone history forever. And they've told Walsh's attorney that, yeah, we have it. And, we're not going to just give it to you. We have to go through it because there's so much other stuff that relates to other cases and other people that, we're going to have to either hire a taint team or, we're going to go through it and just give you what's relevant. And they're like, hell to the no. Case law says you give it to us. We decide what's relevant. And, we're officers of the court. We can protect it. There can be a protective order. We're just not going to release it out there like those pictures from that Delphi case that got out. Trying to kill a fly?
Mosquito. It's bitten me a couple of times. It got in here.
Do they get more than one bite?
Yeah. They love me. But
Romy, thanks for the 20. According to NBC Boston, man shot a Canton apartment complex around 4 p.m. today. 2 people in custody.
Wow.
Further details were not immediately available. From the pic, Chief Rafferty is on the scene. She better not F this investigation up.
Canton apartment. Jesus.
Oh, thanks, Romy. If anybody finds out anything more about that, or if it has anything to do with this case or any of the other cases that we're following, let me know. Andrea, hi from Ireland. This is your ASMR. I'll have to talk more quietly. Hi, Andrea. Shelby says, what? This is the show I needed tonight. Yeah, don't we all? Clemency thanks says, for the 5, they're doing this to Aiden because he's exposing their corruption. Thanks, Redine, for becoming a new member. LA, can this be brought into Turtle Boy and Karen Reed trials? How so? Yeah.
You know what's consistently happened?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes out, whether we like it or not, doesn't matter what your opinion is of Aiden or Turtle Boy. It doesn't matter. Everything that comes out consistently validates Turtle Boy and everything that he's done. Every single thing. One thing after the other. This validates Turtle Boy. Again.
Yeah.
And they're just getting tired of it, but they're just going to have to take it, because now, now everybody it now has the attention. The attention is there now. So,
and here, go to this question. Here's how it can be used. When you have Guarino on the stand in any other case, you can use any of these are sworn affidavits, any of this stuff to impeach him.
Guarino's also involved in the Turtle Boy case. So there's that too.
There you go.
This is insane.
There you go.
I'm telling you that you couldn't write this script.
No, because nobody would believe you. They would be like, that's too unrealistic. We'd never make that movie.
No, the only reason this is going to be an amazing movie when someone does write it, it's going to say everything, because you won't have to exaggerate or dramatize anything. You could absolutely do it accurate, and it'll be incredibly entertaining. And you start it with everything in this movie is absolutely true. This is an absolutely true story.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's all you have to do. And that movie will kick ass.
Hopefully somebody's making it. But I heard Wahlberg pulled out. Brooklyn Janet, thanks. Proctor was framing Karen. That's why they didn't do the proper investigation. Thank you, Brooklyn Janet. You can say that, or you can say that they were protecting their friends like they were doing in the Birchmore case. Pick one. Either one works. Little Irish Girl, watch Microdot's Good Cop, Bad Cop. Same thing. I think I did see that. Is that a newer one?
Oh, this?
Good
I
Cop,
was
Bad
thinking
Cop.
earlier, this has a Microdots video written all over it, man. I can't wait to see what he does with this information, because he already did. Yeah, that's why they brought that up, that Good Cop, Bad Cop, because they talk about another case where they conducted that was actually very well done.
Right.
So this was already the negligence thing, that was already disproven.
Yeah. Is there any way to pull all the cases that Yuri Proctor and Guarino have worked? Yuri flies a lot. Yeah, sure. They can do it. It's a simple word search. I can't do it. I can't do it. But I word searched all these documents to find out where Guarino was in here, and Fanning and Tully and Yuri, and they're all in there. Thanks, Suze. Thanks, Kate, for becoming a new member. Romy with a 10 says, if the police ever take my phone, are they going to think I committed a crime based on all the Googling I did during Ruggate? I might need y'all to vouch for me. Yeah. Well, then it gets worse because they find Brian Walshe at Home Goods buying 3 rugs. And they find him at Home Depot pushing a cart full of cleaning supplies.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
very much reminds me of Joel Guy Jr. Joel Guy Jr. actually kept a journal of what he was doing, and they found the receipt. He was accused of killing his parents after a Thanksgiving get together, and then he actually, they found the receipt for the stuff that was being used to decompose their bodies. It's actually very graphic what he did, but they found it at his parents' house, and they have a camera timestamp of him buying the stuff. It was, and he pled not guilty. It's insane.
Oh,
Like, it was the quickest conviction I ever saw. It was crazy.
Where was that one?
Oh, I don't remember where. But yeah, Joel Guy Jr. That
Joel Guy Jr.
Yeah,
Well,
very, very, very graphic. Like, he like dismembered his parents and put him in like acid in the house, and they found him like that. But he left. Dude, he had journals. He like wrote like in detail what he was going to do, what he was going to buy, why he was going to buy it, he wrote out his whole plan. It's insane. Like, I
like a manifesto. Like he just good.
And then he pled not guilty. Like, what?
I don't know how these people are either just so stupid or they just think they're just never going to get caught. Suze chiming in about that shooting at the Canton apartment complex, 2 in custody. Details at some station. Thanks, Suze. Period, full stop. Thanks for the deuce. Vanderbilt beat Bama. Can we mention? Sure. You can mention it. Who are you rooting for? On the up and up. I love the co-host energy that you guys have. What?
Yeah, man. I'm digging it too. Yeah, no, I was saying that
it's like watching BFFs laughs together over inside jokes. Yeah, I didn't get to go to that dinner with you guys, but
it was fun. You were missed.
I FaceTimed in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, you were missed. It was a good time.
It looks like you guys are having a good time.
Oh, Bettero, man, that dude is just like, if you just imagine how cool Bettero could be, like, if you're just imagining because you've never met him, he's that cool. Like, how you imagine him, he's that cool. Yeah, he's
tell the people.
Funny.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking. Yeah.
He is so cool, and he's funny, and he's nice, and he's gregarious, and he's.
Yeah, he genuinely cares about everything that's going on here. He's absolutely invested. And I love what he's doing. Like, I love with those letters, he's kind of casting out a net, because with this evidence and what he's planning on doing could absolutely shake up the Karen Reed trial, the upcoming Karen Reed trial. It could bring some results to Sandra Birchmore's case. It's wild what he's doing. Like, Guarino is key. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Bettero is going to pull off here.
I can't wait to see part 2. Who else is going to be in? Who else could be involved in this? I mean, that girl texting with Tully and Mello from the bathroom while he's outside the bathroom door is like just a little bit, gives the appearance of maybe something a little bit fishy going on.
Yeah.
Why does she even have Mello's phone number? Why does she even have Tully's phone number? Like,
she's an awful person.
Why are they serving him? Why are they serving her with a subpoena to testify in front of a grand jury that's already concluded, or to testify as a witness in the grand jury that hasn't been convened yet because the crime didn't happen yet?
Kelly Reed.
Make it make sense. If Canton beat Bama, all the students will be charged with theft and jaywalking. Thanks, period, full stop, for your 5. Charlie Lynn, thanks for coming in and gifting a membership. Thank you so much. Julie, oh, I know Flint's water was big news, but we need some water quality reports in Norfolk County. Yeah, just stick with bottled water, Julie. Thanks for the 5. Cyber chick in Boston. This is so funny, except I live in Massachusetts. Send help. Love you. Blink twice if you need us, Cyber chick in Boston. Blink twice. Canton shooting was a domestic. Wow. Was it anyone we know?
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a couple of divorces ready to be filed in the area. I don't know. Oh, imagine. I just have one person in mind who might just have had it with her husband's shenanigans. One person. One person who likes to clean a lot. Thank you, Piney Woods. Says thanks for going.
Yeah, that person comes to mind as well.
Kelly Reed, I'm not going to sing that. Do you want to sing? Can you play it? I wish I think I got a super chat. No, I can't. Much love. Right back to you, Kelly Reed. Much love. I mean,
she's a riot, man. Yeah, she's just so much fun.
How can they not use Guarino in the Karen Reed case? They have to, right? So now, during cross-examination, Tuber Guarini, isn't it true that you filled out this affidavit in January of 2023 and you said this, that, and the other thing? Isn't it true? I mean, these are all words that can be used against them. And it's crazy.
Let's not forget, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Trooper Guarino that got on the stand and said,
"Kill me." But aside from that,
Guarino, te jodiste, brother. Te jodiste.
What did he say? Dígame, what did he say?
He's effed. That's what that means.
What did he say on the stand?
He said,
that you're referring to?
Kill me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's another interesting tidbit that I found when they were looking for the records of his cell phone. And they wanted his cell phone records. And this is Trooper Connor Keefe. He also, I believe, was involved in the Karen Reed case, right?
Who?
Trooper Connor Keefe. I remember, I think he was on the witness list. I don't know if anybody ever called him.
I know I've seen his name or heard it somewhere, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't either, but this is the affidavit for the search warrant, and they wanted all of his cell phone records. And buried in here somewhere, paragraph 31. This has a whole lot more information in it, like a whole lot more detail all of a sudden. All of a sudden, they come up with more details. The first interview was audio recorded of Brian.
Unreal.
And then his oldest child, age 6, saw Anna leave the residence.
I get heated more and more every time there's a mention of a recorded conversation.
Yep.
Every time there's a new mention of a recorded interview, I'm like, come on.
They even went inside the house. They went inside the house.
Imagine that.
And look, on Thursday, here's the first mention of it, but we heard about this Thursday, January 5th interview a couple times. The Cohasset police contacted Norfolk State Police Detective Unit and requested assistance with the missing persons investigation. I thought they don't get involved unless it's a unattended death, homicide. But anyway, guess who shows up? Yuri and DeChico responded to Cohasset PD to assist, and they were briefed on the matter. And then on January 5th at 7:56 p.m., Schmidt and DeChico went back and re-interviewed Brian. The interview was audio recorded.
Oh, come on.
Sergeant Buchanan and Cohasset Lieutenant Lopez were also present, and they spoke to Brian's mother, who was with the children in the living room.
Oh, my God. It's so frustrating. It is oh God, that is infuriating.
Yep.
All of this recording.
And then all of a sudden Yuri's there talking to her mother, talking to Brian's mother, who was with the kids in the living room.
Not even a signed statement from the McAlberts.
Brian said
Not
Anna gave him a kiss and she had to go. Brian said he stayed in bed until 7:30 a.m. when he went downstairs and made breakfast for the kids. Well, he is on house arrest, so I guess he
Gamer
could be
Ducko.
Mr. Mom and he's making breakfast because he can't leave.
Gamer Ducko says this reads like a fever dream.
It does.
I know exactly what you mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Don't you have nightmares about this case? Like I do. I legit do. Like I legit have some nightmares about this. Like
that hasn't happened yet. Knock on wood. I had to settle for cardboard there, but yeah. I not yet. Yeah, I have weird dreams, but so far the Karen Reed, John O'Keefe case has not affected my subconscious to my recollection. But if it was my subconscious, how would it?
I can't imagine what the family goes through if I'm dreaming about this case. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I wonder, I can't help. I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and address
Please
the elephant.
tell us how you really feel.
I wonder, after seeing how this investigation was conducted, if that will affect the O'Keefe's view of the John O'Keefe investigation. But I figure they would have by now. I figure by now, don't they have enough? But it's neither here.
I hear all this like, oh, they never could have gotten a search warrant to get in 34 Fairview. They didn't need one.
Right.
They were invited in. They testified they were invited in, right? That morning, Brian let him in.
Unreal. But again, no checking to see if everyone was okay.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Nobody even goes in the house.
Nope.
Then they wanted to do interviews of the children, and then he agreed to interviews of the children, and then he took back his agreement. He said, "No, you can't." Then it says while they're interviewing him, one of the children walks in with with Anna's sunglasses, like hands them to him. The sunglasses that the child had found and some clothing inside a closet drawer were the only signs of Anna Walshe that were observed. Isn't that weird?
What? Say that one more time.
Yeah, it says so. He lets them search the house, right? Because DeChico says, "Can I have your phone? Because I want to see if Anna used it."
Right.
DeChico requested permission to search Brian's cell phone in the event that Anna had used it and to get a clear timeline. Brian said he had concerns about that due to his pre-existing legal case with the federal government. He's got an ankle bracelet on. Brian also stated his cell phone was misplaced and not used on the January 1st. Cell phone was reportedly misplaced until the 6-year-old found it in the bedroom of the 4-year-old. Well, that's different than what he said before, that it was found in the bed of the 6-year-old, but okay. He asked to talk to his attorney and then said he'd have an answer the next day about whether they could search his cell phone. And then Brian consented at the conclusion of the interview to another viewing of his home and his vehicle. Investigators checked the home, including the attic space and shed. Brian showed the investigators around, and the home appeared unremarkable. The sunglasses that the child had found and some clothes inside a closet drawer were the only signs of Anna Walshe that were observed. That's weird. Maybe she did live most of the time in DC.
I mean,
then they look in his car, his Volvo that he doesn't know how to work the GPS in, and they find a receipt from Lowe's, but nothing else of evidentiary value. Did you finish reading the Rubber Ducky papers? Because they went in, or did you watch anyone else read them like me?
I watched some of you, and then
Sean?
I watched Turtle Boy, but I was too busy laughing at Turtle Boy's accent, and so I wasn't really paying attention to the content of it. But
because they went into his car and they're saying,
I'm going to continue reading it for sure, because
they went into his car. This guy, Richie, they went into his car at the Canton Fence Company. And they said there was an open box of rubber duckies on the front seat in plain view. So, we took those too. They went to his place of business with a warrant to download his infotainment system, which they did on site. They didn't have to take his car.
You're
They
talking about
went
the
in.
rubber ducky guy?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. They did a
Wow.
36-page police report on that, which is 34 pages more than Officer John O'Keefe's investigation got, approximately. And everybody's screaming out there in the cesspool about how we're not taking it seriously enough. And that guy was intimidating people, and how horrific it is that an elderly man, first of all, he's not elderly, he's like 65, but now he's an elderly man, would do this and intimidating people because these little ducks had stickers on them that said Colin did it. I mean, oh, Lisa, thank you so much for your very generous Venmo. Thanks for all that you do. Love watching you two together. Great duo. We're a great duo. Thanks,
We
Lisa.
are.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa.
So they found that I digress to tell you that they went into Robert Ducky Man's car and downloaded all his infotainment system because they don't need to break the thing to do it, apparently.
Insane.
Because they wanted
That's
to find out where
insane.
he was. They wanted to find out if he was in the area where some of those ducks were found. And they stopped at nothing. And he was like, go ahead. You want, go ahead.
I just don't. I can't wrap my head around this because I'm already picturing a trial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
When you picture a trial, doesn't it seem ridiculous to you? Because it seems absolutely asinine to me, and I can't help but laugh. And I can't imagine being in Rich's position and sitting there as a defendant and not giggling the entire fucking time. Excuse me for my language.
And
but
you know what? He's a really nice guy with a really big heart. Like, he did a show,
Right.
I think, with Sean the other night. I think he was on Sean. I think I saw him on Sean's show. And he was just like so nice and has such a big heart. And he's like, I'm just bored. I wanted something fun to do. I'm like sitting up smoking a joint. Like, what should I do? I'm like, oh, I know. Get some ducks. Get some stickers. What they got subpoenas for makestickers.com, where he ordered these stickers from, to get his order history. And they called makestickers.com and they got the owner of the on there and named Adam. And I'm going to promote makestickers.com to everyone because Adam will not give you up without a warrant. He's like, yeah. Because they did a trash pull at his house. They went through his garbage. They went through his garbage and they found the envelopes for the stickers. I swear to you, I would not lie to you. You know, I would not lie to you.
I can't with this.
And now every time I open my phone or my computer, I have an ad for makestickers.com. So I just have to say that they're always listening to us. Oh, yeah. And Adam was like, yeah, no, you're going to need a warrant for that. They got a warrant. He gave them the order history. Then it turns out Rich ordered more stickers and they went back to Adam. And Adam's like, yeah, no, you're going to need another warrant. So he's like, Steve Jobs, I'm like, you're not getting anything from me.
And they like questioned people, man. Like they interrogated people over it.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild, dude. Like that's just the spin-off of the Karen Reed case. That's what's crazy about it. It's just the spin-off. Yep. There's like 5 spin-offs from the Karen Reed case. It's insane.
Everybody's getting their own series from this
that are wild. Yeah. All these
unfortunately
these spin-offs are all wild and just as wild as the other. It's for completely different reasons.
People thought when I was reading the papers that it was a joke. I did too, Carol. I did too. And I thought because Coffendorfer posted it, it must be a joke. And then I'm like reading it. I'm like, I'm waiting for Ashton Kutcher to like jump out of my closet. Like, you're punked. We got you. Like, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and funnier and fun. And I'm like, they're going to this guy's place of business. They got a warrant to download his infotainment stuff. They're pulling all the traffic camera footage to find. They tracked him.
If this was a movie, it would be a comedy.
They actually followed him.
It would be a Soderbergh type comedy. Like what was it? The Informant. Remember that movie with Matt Damon, The Informant?
Mhm.
True story. It
Yep.
would be It would be satirical like that. That would be the
Yep.
only way to tell this story because it's insane.
It's quackers. I mean, the duck
It's
puns that we had in
quackers.
chat. Like, what the duck?
More
What the duck? So now
puns. Yeah.
I actually made a duck emoji.
Shower me with the puns,
I
people.
made a rubber duck emoji so that we can just say duck instead of
I
F word.
saw it.
What the
I
duck?
saw it. I think I'm a member.
Just say
I'm not
what
sure.
the duck. We just do.
I think
We
I
just
get
do.
it.
What the duck.
It's wild.
And then again, they say here, okay, wait, this guy, January 6th, 2023. Okay, this is Connor. Remember Connor Keefe. This is his affidavit. So now, like, he's not one of the good old boys, so he can say whatever the hell he wants. And he says when they interviewed this guy, Jem, at the Cohasset PD, the interview was audio and video recorded. And all he was
it's
just
at
a
the PD.
witness who had dinner with them the night before. Kind of like, if you think about it, the people who were out with Officer John O'Keefe the night before, right? That's the only thing that this guy Jem has to do with the Brian Walshe prosecution, is that he's the guy who was with them the night before. Audio and video recorded at the Cohasset PD by
Right,
DeChico.
at the PD.
And DeChico and maybe Proctor too. I can't remember now at this point because I'm getting so spun by all of these crazy facts.
I mean, Proctor is just like killing it with this investigation. I got no complaints, except for the fact that he didn't do this with the John O'Keefe case and decided to focus his efforts on a sloppy frame up. Awesome.
This witness even says that Brian said that his cell phone was lost and he couldn't find it. So maybe his phone's really lost and somebody's trying to frame him and they stole his phone and they started Googling all this crazy shit. Because listen, what stupid moron has never watched 2020 or 48 hours that would be like Googling this stuff? Like, it's almost too stupid to be true.
Right.
I'm not saying he's innocent because he's probably not, because then, it turns out that they get him. Wait a second. Wait. It gets better first before I get to that part.
Maybe he was drunk,
Look what happened on January 7th.
Sergeant Yuri Bukwacki and Detective Lieutenant Lopez traveled to Washington, D.C. on Massachusetts taxpayer dollars and spoke with attorneys that represent
No. Oh, yeah, attorneys that represent this guy. Right.
William Fastow, who resides in Washington, D.C., and is the most frequent contact with Anna on the cell phone records in possession of investigators. William's statement to investigators is that he was in a dating relationship with Anna Walshe and had been for several months. Dun, dun, dun.
The plot thickens.
The relationship became more serious over the past few months and had spent Thanksgiving together in Dublin and spent Christmas Eve together also. Wow, they're living it up. I mean,
How does a mother of three get away for Thanksgiving to go to Ireland with her sugar dad? Well, maybe he's not a sugar daddy, but her lover.
And then they were open about the relationship in Washington, D.C. It's like they were living life like a French movie. What is going
a double
on
life?
Here? It's like a French movie. They had plans to celebrate New Year on January 4th, 2022, after she returned from Massachusetts. This is
well, the plot thickens now. Isn't there also now another suspect? I mean,
right. Yeah.
But the fact that they're sending Yuri to DC to talk to this guy instead of maybe a phone call.
Right. I mean, Tully flew to California to interview Natalie.
Yep, that's what it reminded me of.
It's wild, man.
And then they talked to her friends and they learned that their marriage was strained, Anna and Brian's, and she was planning on having the kids live with her in Washington, D.C. Anna had reportedly given some sort of ultimatum to Brian about the resolution of his criminal case with the federal government and wanted the kids to be with her. When investigators viewed Anna's residence in Washington, D.C., they observed it to be ready for the kids to move there with clothes and other items available. But then here's what happened on January 6th. The attorney, Tracy Minor, who didn't get paid and quit, and Brian provided verbal and written consent with conditions to turn over Brian's phone to Apple iPads and have the content extracted. Lieutenant Fanning secured all 3 items, and they were forensically extracted, and they were then returned to him the next day.
The next day.
Chain of custody.
Wow.
Oh, and look, another one. Audio recorded
Jesus, dude.
with Brian. Audio recorded.
I can't with this.
I mean, it
is
seems like a pretty
crazy.
and this is all within days. Remember, she wasn't even reported missing by her employer until the 4th. And this is by the 6th, 7th, 8th. I mean, listen, they didn't have him convicted within 16 hours like they did Karen Reed, or
This is
within
just
3 hours ruling Birchmore a suicide, but
this was a clean, precise, quick investigation.
yep.
This was check, as far as cases that you're following that are high profile and you're wondering whether or not the police did a good job.
Yep.
This is check on them all.
Check all the boxes.
And it's no checks, no box, all empty boxes in the Boston police officer John O'Keefe case.
Except they can't use Proctor. And Guarino is probably going to be a problem by the time this case comes to trial, because he's the one who did the forensic review of the data that was given to Lieutenant Fanning, the devices, and then comes up with a couple more searches at the end here, starting on the 2nd, after the last search on the 1st, which was, is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? And then he took a break for about 24 hours. And then 24 hours later, hacksaw, the best tool for dismembering a body, on the 2nd at 12:45 p.m. Can you be charged with murder without a body? January 2nd at 1:10 p.m. Can you identify a body with broken teeth? On the 2nd at 1:14 p.m. What happens to hair on a dead body? On the 3rd at 1 p.m. Oh, he took a break for 24 hours again. So, notice that's all around the same time. What is the rated decomposition of body found in plastic bag compared to body found on surface in the woods? How do you get that specific? What is the rate of decomposition of body found in plastic bag compared to body found on surface in the? Didn't anybody watch Dexter? He chopped people up, he put them in the bags, and he went out on his fishing boat and he dropped them out there in the middle of the ocean.
And I mean, my man had like plastic covering everything. He knew all about spatter, and he knew where it was going to spatter before he even did something, because that's what he did.
Yep.
And then yeah, dumped him out in the ocean. Like,
I mean, he had a kill room, like, that people envy. Like, he had a very envious
he
kill
got
room.
into it, man.
I mean,
like
he had the plastic, he had the shield, he had the tools, he had the tools in the toolkit that he would in the velvet pouch.
He was committed, man, because it's hot in Miami, dude. That's a lot of work. You know what I mean?
I mean,
it's a lot of work, dude.
And it probably would smell in the plastic bag in Miami.
Yeah.
And then his last search here: can baking soda make a body smell good? January 3rd at 1:20 p.m.
Jesus.
Man, they go into great detail to say when they were done, prior to this, prior to that. And then here's an interesting thing. They extract all of the location data from Brian's cell phone to find out where he was, because they can find out where you are.
Right.
So they find out that around January 2nd at 9:44 a.m., he was at Home Goods in Norwell. So they go there, they get the video, and they find Brian pushing a shopping cart and purchasing 3 rugs. Yeah. And then at 4:12 p.m., his cell phone was at the Home Depot in Rockland from 4:12 to 4:56. And he lied about that because he said the only place he went was for ice cream that day. But no, Trooper Moore went to the Rockland Home Depot to get all the security footage, and they find him pushing a shopping cart there with cleaning products, including 3 mops and brushes, 2 large clear tarps, drop cloth, 2 rolls of Scotch heavy-duty tape, a Tyvek suit with hood, boot, coverall, a mop bucket with a wringer, 3 buckets with lids, 2 splash-resistant goggles, soft-gripped utility knife, 2 12-pound bags of baking soda, and a hatchet.
Wow.
Here's the screen grab, which is not a very good one.
Hey, dude,
there it is.
You're done, dude.
Track his movements. Then they find him in Hingham at 5:15 p.m. On January 2nd, and they show him. The video shows him with a black face mask, blue rubber gloves, same ones he was wearing at Home Depot, and they show him walk to a trash can and discard some trash bags.
I mean, it's so crazy because this is good police work, and this still, after the Proctor stuff, could still convict him. I mean, it's overwhelming evidence. You know what I mean? So I mean, if I'm on that jury, I'm going to be forced to question, this isn't the Karen Reed thing. Let's not focus on that. Let's look at what's going on here, because there's a lot of receipts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of data here. The problem is that, will Proctor's name being anywhere on it be a risk to him getting away with this?
Or will the jury, who's going to come from Norfolk County, because, and everyone in Norfolk County knows about the Karen Reed case, right? Everyone knows what the allegations are. Are they going to be thinking in the back of their heads, okay, wait a second, this must be a frame job? Like, they're going to be thinking of a million other ways this could have happened. Like, wait, he told his friend that he really did lose his phone, and then he really didn't find his phone until 2 days later. And all of these searches were done when he didn't really have his phone. So who's trying to frame him? I've seen theories, don't get into a Reddit rabbit hole because, forget it. Like that she's Serbian, she came from Serbia, and she's a spy, and the spies wanted to frame him for her murder, and like all kinds of weird theories out there. But is the jury going to start questioning? Well, Proctor's involved in this. He was involved in Karen Reed. He can't even testify now. So whatever he says, he's probably making up.
Yeah, this is going to be a question of legal loopholes. This is going to be a battle of technicalities. I feel like it's what it's going to come down to, because the evidence is too overwhelming.
Wait a second, you're going to freak out. Here's a fourth interview at the home of his attorney. It was audio recorded. It just was.
Come on.
They found some blood, and then it just was. And then apparently he had to clarify which CVS he went to. And then they found some video of him observing him at the Danvers CVS purchasing and shoplifting cleaning products. Shoplifting them too on New Year's Day. Happy New Year. Attorney Minor offered the possibility.
Did they charge him? Did they charge him with shoplifting?
I don't think so.
I wish they would.
They should have.
I wish.
That would have been a way to hold him, because it would have been a violation of his home arrest.
For sure.
Get the duck out of here. Get the duck out of here. And then his attorney offers the possibility that Anna had performed some of the searches. Here it is. Whoop. Here it is. On January 8th, 2023, Brian was arrested on probable cause and charged with intimidation of witness. They've got all this video of him. They've got all that. That's what they charge him with: intimidation of witness, a violation of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 268, Section 13B. Those who know. IYKYK, as Richie's stickers said on the bottom of those ducks.
I mean, yeah.
The ducky emojis are for the members. Somebody asked, where can you find it? So it's a little perk for members. We have lots of them from this trial. We have a puffy jacket. There's the puffy jacket.
I still can't figure out how to do emojis for my members.
Oh, I'll help you with that. What if any? We have what if any. I use Canva. Do you use Canva?
I think I have Canva.
Just tell me what you want. I'll make it for you. I'll help you. I'll throw you a bone. You're here. You're making the people laugh. I'll help you with the emojis.
You are too, man. You're on fire tonight, Melanie.
You're a YouTube guru.
Guru
kind of fits, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been Forrest Gumping it this whole time. I mean, it's just no doubt.
So that's what they pick him up. They arrest him on the intimidation of witness statute. It's like what everyone gets arrested under in Norfolk. and for intentionally misleading police and blah, blah, blah. And for doing all of this other things and stuff. But where's the really important thing that I found? If I just only know what paragraph it is, 31. Paragraph 31.
Ooh, Sarah and Shock and Horror.
Love
Gifted
her.
10 memberships.
Oh, yay, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Yay. Oh, then they find him throwing some garbage bags into some dumpsters in Abington. And they look really heavy because he's like leaning over.
Wow.
So they've got him at 3 dumpsters on January 3rd.
So how
Because
do they
of the
not have a
location data
body?
on his phone.
How do they not have a body if they've got footage of him dumping it?
Well, let's see. They've got
Allegedly.
footage. I think the dumpsters might have all have been already emptied by the time they got the footage. This is
So, Jesus, man. So why isn't the
on January 3rd, he was
in
dumping the stuff.
hazmat? Why aren't they in hazmat suits going through the landfill like they did with Quentin Simon in Savannah?
Look, they did. Upon
Oh,
learning
did
this,
they?
investigators
Okay.
worked to track the dumpsters. Multiple companies were contacted, and the investigation learned the dumpsters had already been picked up and transferred to CMAS in Rochester, Mass. And the items contained in the dumpsters were already shredded or incinerated by Sunday evening, January 8th.
Wow.
They even went there to see.
Wow. Incinerator.
They
Gross.
find some stuff.
I hate this guy so much.
Here it is. Here it is. Here's another very interesting tidbit that could be very helpful for the Karen Reed case. Okay, ready, everyone? If you haven't been paying attention, listen up now.
Here we
So,
go.
based on Guarino, as you call him, I just call him Trooperino.
Excellent pronunciation.
Well, I'm like half Italian, you know.
Guarino.
Guarino. Well, I guess it could be Italian. On Monday, January 9th, investigators continued to review the data from Brian's cell phone. It was observed from the data's native location data that on January 5th at approximately 8 a.m., Brian's cell phone traveled from his home to his child's daycare. Immediately after leaving the daycare, the device traveled north to Swampscott, where Brian's mother lives. The device data showed it traveled into the complex at approximately 9:30, but remained in the southeast corner for 5 minutes. At approximately 9:35, the device moves in a loop directly around the building, returns back to the roadway, and leaves the area. Now listen, dun, dun, dun. The trip was compared to a previous visit to the same location on December 27th. During the December trip, the device moves to the rear of the building and then appears to move inside the apartment building itself, which is in contrast to the January 5th trip. I thought you couldn't tell if a phone went in a house.
Right.
I thought you
Right.
couldn't tell, Guarino. I thought you couldn't tell whether John O'Keefe's phone went in the house because, you know, geofence and thing and margin of error and all this other bullshit that you want people to believe. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Am
Agreed.
I right? Did I crack
You're
the case?
you're absolutely right. Like,
I crack the
because
case?
you can't do that. You cannot.
Paragraph
You
35.
can't tell. I mean, this dude is something else, man.
So now you could tell, as opposed to that other trip, that he not only was in the parking lot, but he actually went inside the building. You can tell that from your native location data.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Hank will try to get this. If the defense tries to use this, Hank will try to get this excluded from the trial. I feel like it has the same investigators conducting an investigation the way they're supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, so.
But how can we use it as a shield? How can we say, yeah, no, with John O'Keefe's location data, even though it says that he went up and down 3 flights of stairs, he really didn't. That could just be from going over a hill. So, you know, the steps thing, yeah, that's not really
Right.
accurate because Apple's not really accurate. It's like, you know.
No, not Apple.
And, you know,
no.
you couldn't tell that it went inside the house because, you know, what was his excuse for that? I don't even remember. Chat, help me here. 8 weeks of gaslighting. You're right. 8 weeks of gaslighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these cops were like, oh, I don't know.
But you're gonna try and
It's
use this in
crazy.
Brian Walsh's case to say last time he went inside the building of his mother's house
Yeah.
and this time he didn't, so therefore he killed her? Like, you can't have it both ways.
Dude, these guys were surgical in their investigation against this guy. and wow. I can't wait to see what Jackson and Yannetti do with this information.
Oh, wait, there's more. Because wait, I'm not done yet. You didn't think I was done yet, did you? I have one special treat for the very end.
Yay.
Oh, wait, they searched the garbage. First of all, they did search the garbage. And the only bag that they found of the dumpster that had not been dumped, many items contained red-brown stains consistent with blood. Among the items secured were towels, rags, slippers, plastic sheeting tape, Tyvek suit, gloves, cleaning agents, carpet rugs, hunter boots, Prada purse. Dude, you don't throw away a Prada purse. I mean, if he's shoplifting items from CVS, he should sell the purse, for Christ's sake.
If it got blood on it.
A COVID-19 vaccination card in the name of Anna Walsh, a hacksaw, hatchet, heavy-duty cutting scissors or shears, and a hammer.
Oh my God.
The hunter boots and Prada purse are consistent with what Brian Walsh said she was wearing on January 1st. If you killed her, though, and you put her in the dumpster, and they have a video of him putting the bags in the dumpster, why wouldn't you just say she was wearing something different? Like,
right.
It's like the dumbest criminal ever.
This guy's, yeah. Oh my God, this is crazy.
And then they found the rug, that he bought at Home Goods. A portion of the rug that was located inside the dumped garbage bags was heavily stained in a red-brown in color. The rug had some unknown matter on it that investigators thought could be genetic material.
So I want to know what DNA results, like what they tested for DNA. I want to know what they turned in for DNA, whether it was swabs or actual fabrics. Mm-hmm. I want to know how the DNA and what DNA they got and what
and how long it took to get results.
Right.
Is that what you want to know? Because I have that answer for you.
Too.
I've got it.
Okay.
Look at this. Well, first of all, Trooper DeChico was president for the transfer of custody of these items. The medical examiner came to the scene and they found some baking soda on the rug. And a little Gucci necklace that she was wearing in some of her Instagram photos. And then they were still actively searching and corroborating everything. And they get some DNA. Where is the DNA portion? Okay. So they get all this stuff. January 5th. Let's see. The State Crime Laboratory performed testing on selected items secured from the dumpster in Swampscott. I thought it was Swampscott. These items include a pair of dark gray slippers, Tyvek suit, and tissue recovered from inside the dumpster. Testing was performed to detect the presence of DNA within these items. On January 13th, the State Crime Lab provided their findings on the aforementioned items. 3 days. They got the DNA results back in 3 days. They did not even test the blood stains on John O'Keefe's clothes for a year.
Oh my God, dude. So 3 days.
Yeah.
And they got matches, clearly. Sample from interior dark gray slippers. Anna Walsh and Brian Walsh included as contributor.
Yeah.
Sample from stain. I mean, it's all here.
Yep.
I was not expecting, I swear, I was not expecting this to be the next thing that comes up. I just thought of DNA because I was like, okay, well, they got all of these materials. They have to test it for DNA. It's then my next thought automatically. And then this comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect even answers. I was expecting we're still waiting to find out.
Yep.
But no, it's all right there in the next paragraph.
Yeah. It's right there.
Wow.
It's right there. When did they go there and do this trash pull? Did this trash pull on January 11th. Here, look, the unknown material was preserved, and on January 11th, Trooper Guarino transported it to the state lab. I was wrong. They had the results back in 48 hours. January 11th, January 13th.
Jesus.
They never tested the blood on John O'Keefe's clothes. I remember when that woman was on the stand and I was like, wait a second, I think she's got the year wrong because she's saying 2023 and he was killed in 2022.
Right.
And it was really 2023.
And it was the beginning
Betterow,
of 2022.
Betterow's like, I'm driving, I'm listening to you. I can't put up a link. I told you, dumber than dirt, dumber than dirt.
Love that guy.
Mark, did you hear the part that we said about them returning Brian Walshe, the murderer's devices within 24 hours after they extracted all the data? So I have that for you. I have the deets for you. I've got it sworn to by several police officers, all the affidavits that you can march into court and put into your next Betterow letters.
I can't wait to hear what Mark says about the fact that that they gave Brian Walsh's tech back the next day.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what Turtle Boy writes about it.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see what he says about it on his next stream. Because I can't wait to see what he tweets about it. I mean, it's amazing.
This for you. I did this for you and all of you and everyone else that I can help by wading through 462 pages last night of this that I found in the middle of the night. And thank you to whoever it was that posted this, that I found it publicly. And this is only the search warrant information. This is just search warrants. I mean, I haven't seen witness statements yet. But that,
yeah, I can't wait to hear what Bradel says in court about it. I mean, I know you have to bring it up. Like Brian Walshe, an accused murderer with a pile of evidence against him, got his tech back the next day. Yeah. And we're still waiting on my client's tech right now.
Right.
And it's been 300 days.
Yes. And you have him on video buying a hacksaw and searching about how to dismember a body. And my client writes articles.
Right.
That that hurt people's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to hire a taint team. And P.S. How much did they pay Mello to specially prosecute him or persecute him? More than Brennan's making.
A lot more than Hank Brennan, yeah.
Because Brennan has a $75,000 contract.
Almost twice as much. If I remember what Aiden said. Wow. Almost twice as much is what Hank Brennan is making.
Mm-hmm. And BB thinks we should do this once a week. You get to host next time we're at your place.
Right on.
I just called you on here today because I had all this stuff and I had the documents ready to put up. And so, but I did, it was supposed to be at your place this time.
Right on. It's whatever. Like, I just enjoy this. It's always fun. Like, your chat is awesome. My chat's awesome.
I know. I think we have a lot of crossovers. We definitely have a lot of crossovers. Raise your hand if you're members of both channels, or subs to both channels. Robin says, was Uber ever questioned about picking her up? Yep, first thing they did was subpoenas to Lyft and Uber, and neither one said that they picked her up. They got for not even for just her account, for within a half-mile radius of the home. Romy says, what I don't understand is Rich didn't deny doing it, right? Right. Why did they take his infotainment system information and investigate him for 6 months? That's a great question. Great question.
Are you hunting? Are you hunting rabbits?
Ducking crazy. Because anyone who oversteps the boundary of the Albert family.
Crazy. Right. Chris Albert has that kind of pool, man.
Going down.
It's pretty wild. Chris Albert has that kind of pool.
Mary says, Halloween, everyone needs to be a big yellow duck. Sarah, again, thank you for 10 memberships and everyone who was gifted them. Welcome. Romy, your guarina reminds me of Rico Suave. I could just call you Galera Suave.
Rico Suave.
Thank you, Kat Randall, for gifting the membership. And What the Duckling. Look, we have a What the Duckling. This is gold. I mean, can I blow your mind any more tonight?
Maybe.
I mean,
Every
you're
time I
not
didn't think you could,
you're
you
not
did.
really ever speechless, and I feel like you're a little bit speechless right now.
I am. And I'm also on a 20 milligram gummy too. So that has a lot to do with it.
You didn't
Uh,
share. You didn't share.
Yeah, well, that's a federal crime if I mailed it.
Oh, well, it's legal here. No, it's legal here. Yeah, I guess you
Right.
can't mail
No,
it though.
but
Then
you can't because it goes over state lines.
oh,
Yeah.
and you know what happens is be careful because PNPD is out there pulling trash.
Yeah.
They pulled
Yeah.
this Richie's trash. They went and they did dumpster diving. This
Unreal.
detective, I forget his name, Tim the Toolman Taylor. His name is really Tim Taylor. Remember the TV show?
Wow.
Remember Tim the Toolman Taylor? So he was digging through the guy's trash, found the FedEx, found the thing, connected the dots, and here we are. Brian
Yeah.
Albert is a ductator. Aussie in the
That's
house.
amazing. What's up, Aussie Insider?
I mean, yeah,
This
you better be.
community is awesome, man. Seriously, like this community is so great.
I know.
So much fun.
Oh, thank you, Smarta Harry. How much do I enjoy our amped up Melanie? Thanks, Claire. They're thanking you for amping me up. I know. I feel like I can just, fly, be free, say whatever I want. I don't care. We're already demonetized probably in the first 3 minutes. You said if you smoke on the air, we're done. Oh, wait, here's what I wanted to do. Brings me back. I have like short-term memory loss in my family. We call it
Yeah.
absoluteheimers, early onset absoluteheimers. But here is what I wanted to show you before and the chat. So please co-host the Streamathon fundraiser together. It's going to be great. I would love to do you have a date for that?
No, not yet. I'd like to aim for like either Saturday or Sunday next week. Next weekend.
Okay.
I'd like to do that. So I need to like get on the ball and start
like
asking.
noon to midnight. Oh, we got to
Yeah.
get Auntie Deb. We got to get Auntie Deb to come in and do
We
some
got to
comedy.
get Auntie Deb.
We got to make a list.
And
I'll
Hannibal
start.
and Monty. Now, Hannibal and Monty are my favorite channel ever. And they only get like 20 people in chat at a time. It's insane. And they are hilarious. They are like my favorite channel ever. And so we've been kicking around the idea of them being introduced to this case because they don't talk about crime.
Mhm.
But they're like, okay, like what about if we went on your show? They brought this up like months and months and months and months ago. And I was like, I've got the perfect case. And then it just never happened. But I've been in touch with them recently. And so it looks like it might happen.
Hannah and Monty, the comedy?
Hannibal and Monty.
Oh, Hannibal like Lecter. Okay, got it.
Yeah, they are like the coolest people in the world. So pleasant natured. And they have a producer, Monty's daughter, Zoe is their producer. And they're just hilarious. And they're organized. It just blows my mind that they don't get more views and more subscribers. It blows my mind because it's really brilliant and original and organized and fun.
Yeah, we already have a list starting Auntie Deb, Mazza, Melanie, JFK, Sean, Turtle Boy, Brian, LTO, Nurse Kim.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely want to see if I can get Aiden on for that. And I want to see if I can get Pedro on for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just do random stuff, man. Watch body cam footage of drunk people,
Yeah.
Stuff. Just we're gonna have fun.
We can do we can have some comedy. It could be very fun. Let's take a look at this because
I'll open phone lines randomly throughout the stream.
The Walshe house is for rent right now. 4,500. 4,500 a month. And
no, thank
look,
you.
I mean, it's lovely. For anyone who is in need of accommodations in the area of Cohasset, I mean, I kind of think that might not be a bad deal for Cohasset. 4,500 a month. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. And look how big it is. It's got this big main house, and then it's got the side door, and it's got this whole part here.
For a murder house, it's a steal.
Right? Look at the, I mean, look, it's nice.
Look at that.
It's very bright, sunny. I mean, you can't even get a studio apartment in Manhattan for $4,500 a month. You know, you can't even get like a 400 square foot closet. And I believe it has a pool because they did say that they had to search the pool because they thought it was odd that the pool was still open in January and it was murky and they were looking in the pool. So it has a pool. So if anybody out there needs a place to live, you too can live at 6 whatever address this is in Cohasset, the Walshe home. I believe they were renting this house as well. Where's the pool? Did they build the pool in there too? Huh.
What? Where is the pool?
I don't know. This is 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway, Cohasset.
Olivia says they emptied the pool.
Oh. They emptied the pool during the search. Yes, I did see that. But
yeah, if Olivia, I'm at the point where if Olivia says something, I take it as gospel.
I know. Now I hope that she's going to take this. I hope she's going to take this. She's going to take what I did here and run with this tomorrow because I was very on the QT about this. I didn't want anybody to know except for you. And I wouldn't even tell you much, did I? I was like, do you know about Brian Walshe? And you're like, not so much. I'm like, good, even better. Amber, thanks for the 5. If Karen Reed is retired, I felt proper investigation expert would be useful. Can defend or retried. Is it retired? Like, well, she's retired.
I read it as retired as well. I did too, but I'm dyslexic. I don't know what your excuse is.
I have none. I felt proper investigation expert would be useful. Can defense use proctors other investigations to prove corrupt, not incompetent? Oh yeah, you think they should have an like an expert on police procedure and investigations? Can they use his other investigations to prove?
It's amazing because that's Proctor. And
the thing is that
Walsh investigation, the dude's a super cop.
We see what Auntie Bev lets in and doesn't let in. That's the thing.
It's going to be interesting.
So that's the thing. We don't know what she would allow in.
She was she's awfully chummy with old Brian in that hearing. She was
I know. Nemok, thanks for the 20. OMG, could you imagine if walking down the streets in Ken are rubber duck costumes? You might get arrested. I'm not going to recommend it. You could get arrested. It could be like considered witness intimidation, really. Rubber ducks are scary. I would highly recommend dress up like Chuck E. Cheese instead, because that's less scary apparently than a rubber duck. And Chuck E. Cheese might be the most scary character that my kids have ever seen. Thank you. KLM. Oh yes, we will do that.
This dude called into my show cracking up, like dying laughing, because he had sent guys at the D&E Pizza duck tour tickets. He was dying when he was telling me this. It was
I would really not recommend that either.
I didn't think what he did was nearly as funny as the fact that he found it so funny. And I was just cracking up. I was just dying because he was like he was I've never seen anyone so pleased with themselves. He was absolutely pleased with himself. It was amazing. I was happy for him, but at the same time, I do not condone these actions. At least I don't recommend them.
Do not do any of it. Don't. I'm telling you, they're coming for you. They will come for you. LL Associates, was Chloe home to the Walshe family? I don't know. Thank you for the 20. Mary, enjoy Melanie and the Glare together. They click. Thank you. We get that a lot.
Yeah.
Ditto. Thanks for the ditto. Thanks for 10. I subbed to both you guys. I suspected Will was glassy-eyed and relaxed. Is it what kind is it? Is it the sativa?
No,
is it the Humboldt?
Hybrid, actually. I like both the sativa and the indica.
The first time I ever went into like a in Colorado, they call them bud tenders. But Colorado was the first place where it's legal and you could go into a dispensary. Thanks, Suze. Tim Taylor left an 8-month-old lab in the back of his car in the summer. Right. And Canton PD took the dog to the incinerator and covered it up. Did you hear about this? You don't even want to know the story.
Oh, Jesus.
Tim, the 2-man Taylor, his dog died in the backseat of his car. Was it a canine? Was it a police canine or was it like his personal pet? Yeah, that's horrific. Thank you for pointing it out. but I know there are a lot of people in the chat who like pets better than people.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine.
The first time I ever went into one of those dispensaries in Colorado, they would call them bud tenders, like the guys behind the counter, the bud tender. They'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, what do you want? Do you want something that's going to make you feel relaxed or motivated or stop right there. I said there's a weed that can make you motivated. I've never heard of such a thing in my life.
I don't subscribe to that stuff, man, where people are like, oh, this weed enhances this sense and this weed. I want to feel turnt, man. That's it. I just want to feel. That's it. I want to feel good, man. That's it. Like, I don't need all that. I don't need those explanations. Is it going to get me high? Right on.
Yeah, but do you want to be like happy high or do you want to be like sad high?
I'll take. There's no such thing. It depends on me.
Be.
No, no. Like people who are like sad drunks, it's because they're sad people. People who are happy drunks, it's because they're happy people.
Oh.
People who are happy, like if you smoke weed and you're sad, you shouldn't smoke weed. It defeats the entire purpose. You're wasting it. Give it to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Give it to the happy stoner.
Yeah. Right. You're wasting it.
It's very funny. No. Okay. Everyone says no. It was not the same dog. All right. I think we did a good job. We're all happy drunks here. Thanks, Jenny.
Was there any doubt? This is what we do. This is a thing now, I think.
It's a thing. It's a whole thing. It's going to be the rumor on the internet tomorrow, so you better watch out. Will you defend me on the cesspool of Twitter if such thing happens?
I have so much fun on Twitter, man. Like lately, like my latest thing was just toying with Julie Carpenter, because she was trying to defend crate training for dogs, and that's fine. What's really funny about it is I get it. You know what I mean? Like I understand that crate training is a thing and it's fine, but I just kept like making her out. She just kept trying to justify it where I was like criticizing it, and I just kept accusing her of having a natural instinct to want to cage an animal because the dog did not ask to be caged, did it? So she kept saying, well, it's their instinct to nest. Yes, but is it their instinct to nest in a cage, or did you provide that? And it drives her crazy, and I just enjoy doing that because like it's just what I do. Ask anybody who grew up with me. What I do is I get on your nerves, and I'm a master at it.
So you know how to push people's buttons. You know how to twist the knife and find their soft spots, and like fun. Get in there and really push their buttons. Not in a good way.
It's just fun because I got her wondering whether or not she has a natural instinct to cage animals.
I don't know who she is, but I just think it's like if you have a pet, isn't the whole point of having a dog to have the dog sleep in your bed with you? Like, why would you want to put your dog in a cage? I don't understand it.
Yeah, she's just.
I'm not a pet person, so I have a cat, but it wasn't my choice to get the cat. But I'm just saying, I have too many kids. I had a kid be taking care of animals too. But
yeah, I have never. Clubber has never been in a cage. Well, no, because I had to board him when I traveled, but they treat you amazingly, but in my home he has never been in a cage of any kind whatsoever. He sleeps on the bed with me. He sleeps like a baby in my arms. That's how we sleep at night.
Oh, that's
like
cute.
I cuddle with him, like, and we fall asleep like that. He loves it. Like, and if not, he is like parked right next to my leg, like up against my leg, always.
Oh,
he's my little dude, bro. Like,
what did you do with him when you were away for all that time?
There's a place
when you were, on Instagram Live every night and YouTube,
like a pet spa type place. They even gave me a report card. Yeah, and they post.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're good people, and they gave him a bath and gave him a bath, and they put a little bandana on him, the Halloween themed bandana on him.
Yeah.
He was because the second I dropped him off, I missed him.
Oh,
I am so in love with this dog that I can't even describe it.
I can't believe there wasn't like one person on the jury, just to like pivot from pets to Karen Reed, who wasn't offended by the Alberts calling Chloe it several times, because I've never known a person to refer to their pet as it. Everyone
Yeah.
knows if their pet is he or she, and I still have no idea what went on with that jury. Thank you, Miss
Yeah.
Scarlett Hall, and I can't wait to see what the appellate court is going to do with this and whether they're going to send it back.
Clubber
I keep
is
trying to get him to give classes. Reality Check wants you to give a what kind of classes? I'm not sure. Pet training classes?
give class. No, I don't know what she was talking. She was talking about something before, but I don't know what she was talking. Oh, sarcasm, snark.
Snark
That's what she was.
classes?
Yeah, snark classes.
Hmm.
I mean, oh, he's asleep. Like he's just laying, like spread out, like right there.
Olivia, the jury was stacked. Olivia, are you surprised by all the stuff that I said tonight, or did you already know all this stuff from the document dump of the Brian Walshe 462-page search warrant affidavits? Because I need you to run with this. And I know what you sent me on your thing with the hash marks, and literally I had to read that tweet 25 times, and I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
So as much as I would
Olivia,
love to talk about it, it is so over my head and out of my wheelhouse that only if Olivia would come on my show and talk about it could I do it. And then I saw she was going on with Sean, I think that night, or someone else, and I was like, all right, they'll cover that.
yeah. Yeah. Olivia will definitely go into detail. There are two people who have really long, well, three people who have really long tweets. That would be Sean on the Gulf, Plevin, and Olivia. But the thing is 2 out of 3 of those actually have substance. So, and I'll give you a hint. Plevin's not in those 2.
You think? But he's an expert on Court TV. I mean,
yeah.
he wants to debate you. I told you I would moderate.
No, yeah. I let the people decide that one. And they were all like, no. And it's just because
the tribe has spoken.
He's not interested. I
The
mean,
tribe has spoken.
there is no debate at this point. Like I could sit here and explain everything that we just went over tonight, and it would not make a dent. And he's just going to talk in circles. And what I'm going to do is end up making fun of him, and then I'll get rained on with super chats, and it's just going to be bad for him. So I'm doing him a favor, honestly.
I know. And you know, like the thing is, like he seems like he's a nice guy. Like really. Like he seems like he's probably a nice guy. He's probably got a good heart. I don't know who got their claws into him, but he used to be a free Karen Reed person, I think, from what I hear. I'm not really sure.
The story that I heard from Turtle Boy was that Turtle Boy called him a fence rider, and then he switched. That's what happened.
Oh.
That he was just like, dude, said something like, don't be a fence rider or something to that effect.
He didn't want to be out riding fences.
And so, yeah. And then he went full on anti-Turtle Boy, anti-Karen Reed.
Can't hear anything because I'm grabbing dinner, but the chat is fire. Thanks, you guys. Great hybrid show. Thanks, Joe Mama. Thank you for coming in with your 20. All right, you're all hyped up now. What are you going to do now? Now you got me into that monsters show. I got to go start episode 2. Let's do a thing on the Menendez brothers.
We could absolutely do that. I'd be down because that dude. It's satire, is it not? Like, just wait. I mean, did you see the use of Milli Vanilli?
Yes, I just episode 1.
Right, that was amazing. Like but it was. I couldn't help but laugh because I remember those songs, and I like those songs because I was 13.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how much of that was poetic license and how much of that is accurate, but that's the problem, is that there's some idiots tweeting about it as if what's shown in this Ryan Murphy miniseries is true. So,
and I agree with Shiraz. Javier Bardem was brilliant in it. You haven't really gotten into that yet, but
Javier Bardem, I just saw him in episode 1 alone. The way he's yelling at him on the tennis court and
he's brilliant. He's brilliant. But the episode 5, I'm still not sold that it was necessary. It was a little much.
A lot of people have said that, and now I feel like I just got to skip to episode 5. I probably shouldn't.
I'm just not sure it was necessary, and it was really, really graphic, and it was really it was tough to listen to, and I'm just not sure that it was necessary for the story to have it
Mm.
the whole episode basically dedicated to this to this description coming from Eric. It was
Oh,
tough. Yeah, it was tough. But what was weird about it was this was super serious and super tough to watch, but there's so much else that is so satirical that makes that seem like, why did they do that? You know, like
right.
you're just gonna have this one super intense episode that is incredibly graphic, and the rest of it is jokes. It's satirical. It's like a Laurel and Hardy skit. You know, it's weird. So that's
Yeah.
my gripe with it. I didn't mind that it was satirical. It made it entertaining, but the that one episode in there seemed like a really out of place piece of the puzzle to complete it. Didn't belong, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, that's not today's not October. Today's October 6th, right? Oh, okay. So we can redirect to Brian at LTL. We'll do a cupcake right over there, you guys. I'll redirect you over there. All right. And anything you want to say in closing, my friends? He's having Jess Machado on to talk about, I think, that interview that Tully did with her like all those years ago.
Yeah, and she just recently posted something, but it slips my mind what she posted. It was
Or Mello. It was Mello she interviewed, I think, right?
Yeah, it was Mello. It was Mello. He was the one that she was able to quote. That was a big deal.
Thanks, Yuri's math teacher, for gifting the memberships. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm sure Will does too, because Yuri's math teacher is like one of the most generous YouTube
Totally.
like chat people ever. Like for real.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
always gifting, always in here. Best username. Although we did see some good ducky ones tonight.
A lot of a lot of familiar handles in the chat that I love to see. So like it's really cool, man. So yeah, I always enjoy. Thank you so much for having me up here, because I always enjoy talking
Thank
to
you
you.
so much for coming. As always, it's always a good time. I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? All right, my friends. We will see you on the rebound. Thank you so much for giving the membership. Mods, thanks for keeping it classy. We even share mods, Team Brittany. And Scott, thanks, Team Brittany, for putting up Glaire's thing. Go subscribe to him, of course, if you're not already. I'm going to redirect you over to Brian at LTL for his interview with Jess. So tell him that I sent you and Will sent you.
Raid.
Cupcake invasion. Be cool, everyone. Peace. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Good night.